I think Ian Brown, he did like a Q&A thing, didn't he, at the fire station?
Did he?
Did he? Ian Brown, yeah. Did you say that? It's one of them things, you might have dreamt it.
And it never.
You made it up, but it didn't happen.
You dreamt it by.
They said there was there was a guy who had
Are
done.
you sure this happened?
There was a guy who had an interview with, right? Neil, shout out to Neil. He did a storyline, and he put it on because he went to see Ian Brown in the audience with, but half the audience thought he was going to like play music and that. So they were booing, this is all rubbish, and they were kind of they ruined the whole night by talking over the top of it. And it was like an audience with just him telling stories and that about the back in the day. Imagine Ian Brown stories.
Oh,
he'll not remember half the 80s. Do you know what I mean? He'd have been down a kind of acid cave somewhere, kind of just lost in it. He's got to have been,
probably telling stories from other people's memories, telling them what he did.
I reckon he can tap into memories as well. He can kind of totally. His mind can jump into someone else's mind, and then he can, I reckon Ian Brown's been at that level before.
Like. 100%.
Aye, he's got to have, hasn't he?
100%.
Yeah. I mean, they invented. I think did they not come up with like the hoodies? The 22-inch bottoms and hoodies and baggy. They came up with that. Like the hat.
Yeah.
The kind of. What's it called? The kind of.
I'm trying to claim it in brain, yeah.
People wear the cricket hats now.
Like the bucket hat thing.
Bucket hat.
Yeah.
That was a style, wasn't it? And the acid smiley faces and over baggy stuff.
Bucket hats are back in now, man.
They are.
Bucket hats are really popular now, man.
I've got do hats. Can you do hats?
No, my ears stick out.
I don't do hats.
I've got to tuck my. I've got to tuck my ears in.
What? Well, you got to tuck it into your heart. Did they come out like this?
Got to get into the Bob Mortimer thing, like they just pop out like that. So I've got to tuck them back in to make sure.
Aye. Oh, so you sit like that. If you put a cap on, you got like your ears stick out.
Yeah, stick about using a bit of that makeup tape,
just pull it back,
You look like something off Lord of the Rings, then, like an elf.
Like boat tape, kind of.
So, Richard, I've got before we even kick off properly, I've got to get your name right. And I saw it on social media this week.
Oh God!
I realised I've been doing the same for decades.
Oh, everyone does,
right? So,
what
we need to get it straight, right? Mm-hmm. I've been going to Colmans, right? All of my life.
Exactly.
There's no in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Alice asked us who we got on this morning. I was like, it's not Colman, that's Colman.
Yeah. But it was only about 2 years ago that I stopped. I can't remember who corrected me. But when I saw the social media this week, I thought, yeah, you must still be getting that all the time.
It's been an ongoing thing, and somebody did a review at the one in Phoenix, and he was going, Colmans, and then there was a whole debate in the comments, like,
Colmans,
and it just spiraled way out of hand, and I was like, I'm gonna have to correct this, like, I'm gonna have to jump in here.
Oh, did you jump in the room as well?
And I put a video out on our social media just to clarify it.
Did you?
But you did like a public vote though, didn't you?
We put a poll out, and it was we had thousands of votes, and over 80% of them got it wrong.
Really?
And I was like, oh wait.
80%.
I mean, I'll not be offended either as long as I come and buy bags of chips. I'm still happy. But
are you going down to Colmans? Sorry, Colmans. Yeah, you can't have chips.
But it's just everybody.
You should set up like a shadow restaurant outside called Colmans.
We'll just set one up next door. Unbelievable. But
it gets to a point where you've got to change your name. Do you know what I mean? You might
just put a little E above the sign just to make sure.
Little arrows. When you're at school,
when you correct it and you put a little arrow and a little letter above, I'll just do that in the sign above the shop. Class. But it got loads of engagement.
Formerly known as Colmans.
Yeah. Oh, you know what you do? You know the jaws where the shark's looking up with the jaws over the top. You lean into the fish, man. Do you know what I mean? You got to lean into that.
Do you know what it is, though? I know for a fact. I've cleared it up and changed it, right? And everyone's still going to call it Colmans.
Of course.
Do you think it's an association thing, right? Do you think in people's heads, because Colmans is like a well-known food brand, do you think they just do like a lazy assumption in their head because you're a food business and they just make like a fast track? Well,
look, honestly, you think of mustard straight away.
Yeah, 100%.
But that gets in everybody's head.
But the thing is with the mustard as well.
Bobby Starbucks, is there? Yeah. Imagine if there was.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, though? You would like, no.
100%.
Everyone's going to think I'm like that guy, all the time.
But there's no Ian Colmans mustard either. It's Colmans again.
Is there not?
It's not Colmans mustard.
So is
So,
anybody
like-
called Colman?
So, like,
Does
Come
it
on,
have-
at this
shout
point,
out to anybody called Coleman.
Yeah.
it's Colmans
come on.
mustard. It's not Colmans
It is
mustard.
Colman's mustard. You're right.
If you read
I
the
can see
jar,
it, yeah.
it's Colmans. There's
I
no
trust
E
you.
or there's no A.
Is that true? I'm gonna do a check.
I'll give it a Google.
Why can I can see an E?
Yeah.
There's no E.
Yeah.
They do the same. It's just, you know,
That's this podcast
this
over.
Mandela effect. Have you ever seen this
I
before?
do,
The
the
Mandela
Mandela
effect.
effect, yeah.
When you're like, you think the Monopoly man's got like a mustache, but actually he doesn't and stuff
Yeah.
like
What?
that, or a monocle, and
Yeah,
he doesn't.
Monaco, he doesn't,
I feel
yeah.
like we are the Mandela effect of there's an E in Colmans, but actually there's not.
I think you're completely right there.
I'm not being funny. My world's
Yeah.
collapsing. Right, hold on.
But
The
it
Monopoly
is,
man hasn't got
completely right.
he hasn't got a monocle.
I
No?
think it's
What's the
because
consensus?
he looks. Oh, Colman's mustard, yeah, no E in there. But I feel like the Monopoly man is because the Pringles man has a mustache, and they look kind of similar to me.
Ah, right,
Yeah.
okay.
But you've never seen them in the same room, though. have
you
you?
never see them in the same room. That's
No.
true.
It's like the Colonel of KFC, maybe the same guy.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, like you.
Just puts a different hat on. Monopoly on Monday, and then he's kind of KFC Thursday.
Oh, dear me.
Right.
Honestly.
I'm
Right,
sorry-
well,
Oh, you
sorry
mind that
to shatter
Mandela
everyone.
thing? No, but it is interesting, wasn't it? Because what was the Mandela thing as well? Was it like he died and he wasn't? Is it that, or was it
And
he was
then it's-
president and he wasn't
and
kind
then
of thing?
and stuff like that.
It was
and
that,
then
wasn't
it's
it? Everyone
it's
thinks he was
spiraled
president
into
or
other
something,
things.
wasn't it? It was something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I'm still thinking about Colman.
It baffled his head.
I
Yeah.
feel like an Etch-a-Sketch that's just been wiped
Oh,
of memory.
So
I'm
you're
sorry.
20
Things-
years of what you
not just
thought.
Colman's, the Monopoly thing as well. I mean,
It's bonkers, isn't it?
yeah. I'm going to have to recalibrate my life.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with Google now because you can find out straight away. Back in the day,
Totally.
you'd only believe what your parents said.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you,
totally.
it's like, when you tell somebody at school, you've done this as well, and somebody tells you something, and then you just kind of regurgitate this in school, and everyone's like, what are you talking about?
That's
Yeah.
not true.
Call you out in the middle of the class. 29 people
none
just
of that
going,
now.
bah, just laughing at you. Yeah, because you can just go home. Oh, that's right. And then
Yeah.
you look smart, don't you?
100%. But there's 10 answers for every question as
There
well.
is.
Now that's a problem.
There is 10
Yeah, it
answers.
is.
Aye.
It's
Yeah.
it's a
So-
blessing and a curse.
Aye.
So how old is your business? But it's recently came to a big anniversary, isn't it, the business?
So next year,
Next year.
2026 will be 100 years of the shop on Ocean Road.
Really?
Yeah,
That's just...
Really?
100 years, centenary. Aye. So we started in 1905 in a little wooden shack.
Aye.
Do you know where Temple is? Just
Yeah, yeah.
on the front.
Yeah.
Little wooden shack there, and then it actually started with ice cream, and then decided it was too cold for ice cream, so they moved into fish and chips. That's true.
Well, nobody told them in Cello that, though, did they? You know what I mean? Yeah.
So they took the shack, they got rid of the shack, they moved to Ocean Road,
Yeah.
and started fish and chips.
Fantastic.
How
26.
did that start, though? I mean, what was the background, your family? And like,
We're actually an Italian family,
yeah.
so a lot of the families that moved from Italy went into fish and chips, and it's funny because where our side of the family came from in Italy is called a place called Barga, and a lot of the Italian, especially Scottish Italian families that went into fish and chips originate from Barga, and still to this day,
really?
it's a tiny little town
Aye.
in just outside of Lucca, Tuscany.
All right,
way.
okay, yeah.
And still to this day, they have a massive fish and chip festival there every year.
Do they?
Yeah,
That is just...
to celebrate
That's
all
my
the families that moved over
blew my
and
mind.
do
Yeah.
do fish and chips.
What was the link? I'd love to know what the link was
don't
to
know.
make that happen.
I really don't know.
And why as well? I would never think that they'd be cooking fish and chips. They'd be
Mad,
like,
innit?
Aye. Like it starts there.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Are they putting batter on?
Aye.
Butter and everything? Like,
Yeah,
like
traditional
Like
fish and
traditional
chips.
fish and
So
chips.
we
Yeah.
haven't nicked it and kind of just tagged on and added a thing and then
Just fish and chips, like what you'd expect here.
really?
With loads of wine.
Loads of wine. How is that not where that fizz has come from? Then?
Fizz and
Well,
chips.
maybe it is, though.
Chips.
Come from Italy.
Possibly because you're talking about wine. It's got to be something in there. They go,
You've set me
"Aye,
down a
why-
rabbit hole now. I
Can we
wanna
not
find
try the
more of
white?
this."
Well, why don't we
Yeah.
try the champagne? Or somebody in
need-
France goes, hang on, hold my white wine. Do you know what I mean? Let's
Maybe
try
we
to
need
try
a trip
champagne.
Maybe we
Right.
need a trip to Barga to have a
Fizz
look at the
Wars.
fish and chip
I
festival.
don't know. Aye. Well, there's an out and about for you.
Yeah.
There's a film for
Yeah.
you.
Go to Italy.
Go
Yeah.
to Italy, aye.
But aye, so
would,
that's
yeah.
where that's how it started, and then from there it's just gone through. I'm fifth generation. It's me and my brother now, and it's just kind of just snowball effect. And
Has it never skipped a generation? There's not one person's went, nah, I'm not doing fish and chips. No, really? You all went in it?
everyone,
Really?
yeah.
So what were you in there at like 3 and that? Just kind of at the back,
Why?
sitting on the benches and all that
Well,
kind
I've-
of stuff, watching what's going on.
So when my mum and dad we used to have a pear tree in the back garden, and when they couldn't get childcare, they used to sit us at the counter on Ocean Road with a bag of pears, and I used to sell pears on the counter at about 2. Honest to God.
Pears.
Yeah, they used to have a pear tree in the back garden, so just to keep us
So
busy.
you just selling what you had.
So we just pick the pears out of the back garden, put them in a bag, and they used to sit us on the counter at Ocean Road
Yeah.
and just sell a pears.
Well, I mean, who's not buying a pear from a kid?
From a 2-year-old.
That's kind
It was a lucrative business, man.
Market on Sunday.
Just have a lot of kids selling stuff.
100%.
Can I borrow your baby, please?
Well, you
100%.
You
Sit 'em
can't
on the
turn
top.
them down, can you?
Bag of pears, quid each, you know what I mean? With the most expensive pear in the world. But you can't say no to a toddler, can you?
No. Oh, he's right there.
Say no to a
You can't
toddler.
say no.
It's a lucrative business.
It is.
I've been in the business as long as I can remember.
Was there much going back to when it first started? Was there much competition then, though, on Shields? Was it, or were you kind of
Yeah,
really? Was there?
yeah. There
The
was
fish and chip wars or something. There must be
What
something like
happened in
that.
Scotland,
Because there
didn't
was
it?
ice cream wars.
cream
There
wars,
weren't
yeah,
ice
there
cream
was,
wars.
aye.
Yeah.
Ice cream wars.
it's never been. There's never been a great rivalry. Everybody, all the fish and chip owners knew each other,
Yeah,
and they were all pretty friendly. So it was never a big rivalry.
yeah.
Because you just tend to go to the one that's closer to you.
Yeah,
When I grab some chips, there's one over
Yeah,
there.
totally.
That's what you do.
100%.
You know?
But
But you stood the test of time though, because when you go to Colmans,
Colmans,
Yes.
it's just, I mean, like it's gone through like the industry itself's gone through a really hard time.
Oh,
You'll see
the worst.
the attrition of loads of places closing, or
100%.
they're sort of doubling up, trying to do different things. You've got like you have kebab.
But
in
what?
the back.
That's not a fish and chip shop,
It's
mate.
not.
You can't-
though.
you
It's
can't
not,
say-
Richard.
No.
No.
It's like chip shopping. We sell pizzas and pizzas sell fish
Yeah.
and chips.
But you still come to
It's not
Ocean
the same.
Road on
Yeah.
a bank holiday, and it's mental.
Yeah, I mean, we've
like
got-
No, it
queues
is
around the
mental.
corner.
It is mental.
got Easter next week. Good Friday's our busiest day of the year.
Well, aye. Oh,
Better start picking those pears.
We're gonna need a forest.
my word.
But Good Friday's insane.
Good Friday. But it's mad though. Why is that?
But it's not everywhere, you know. So I have friends who have fish and chip shops down the country, and they close on Good Friday.
Really?
No, we've been talking about this. Northeast got really like some funny traditions that have stuck.
Yeah.
Like we talked about Blackberry Week and Carlin Sunday. They're all religious related things. Blackberry Week's not school holidays, but Good Friday, like we didn't grow up in a super religious family, right? But you still had the remnants of
Yeah.
being like a C of E family.
Yeah.
We just like Good Friday, fish and chips.
Yeah.
we had to do it.
There's a queue twice a day, lunchtime and nighttime,
Yeah,
up the street in every single fish and chip shop.
there is.
You go, hang on, you know what day it is because there
Good
is.
Friday.
Right? Good Friday.
Yeah.
But it's mad, isn't it?
It's a tradition that's stuck though, and it's actually getting busier.
Yeah.
I don't know whether
Yeah.
it's new generations coming in and seeing the tradition and like carrying it on. It's class.
Yeah, it is. But
It's
it's
great.
interesting that it's not like it doesn't carry it across the
No,
outside the region.
It's. I mean, I don't know anywhere outside the northeast that does the northeast levels of fish and chips
yeah.
that we would do on Good Friday. I think it's a very regional thing.
I think also when I was a kid, fish and chips was like, it was always a cheaper takeout than
Yeah, yeah,
anything
yeah.
else. But now it's at the same level.
Yeah.
If you go for fish and chips now, it's going to cost you 20 odd quid for a full family.
Yeah.
It's like going for an Indian or a Chinese or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
It's up that level, hasn't
Yeah,
it? But
totally.
is that because of fish prices and things like that? I don't want to get political and boring.
No,
but, you know what I
no,
mean?
but it's a good thing to touch on because people love fish and chips, and it's always been perceived as like a cheap takeaway.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
not.
Exactly.
But I never should have been
yeah.
Yeah.
Not with
because
the fish.
you're
you know?
getting a beautiful piece of protein,
Yeah.
wild caught.
Yeah.
There's no farmed fish that you get in fish and chip shops like meat.
I could bang on about this all the time, Richard, because this idea of how people perceive value, it's a UK issue, actually.
Yeah.
Aye.
And like,
Especially when you
I-
say
we
what
were
it
talking
takes to
about this the
get
other
the
day about
fish.
coffee, right?
Especially you say what 12 hours to go
No,
out
totally.
and
But
catch that fish.
it's,
you know?
it's like any sort of commodity product. Like we were talking just the other day about coffee. Who were we talking to again? We're talking about coffee and cocoa and commodity ingredients that we've just made every day. But actually, they're really expensive things to produce.
yeah.
Oh, massive.
And to import and to process and to, make into bars or whatever.
Aye. 'Cause why
we've-
sorry, go on.
I was just going to say we've diminished the value of food and people's perception.
100%.
And especially in fish and chips is one of the things that really frustrates me because I'm always like, well, hold on a minute. What could be more than a better sort of carrier of a local message
Than fish and chips.
chips?
And it's
right?
such a
Looking-
natural product.
Two local ingredients.
It's one of the only takeaways where it's not pumped
Totally.
with additives and all sorts. It's fish, it's potatoes, it's flour, and cooked in oil. There's
you're right.
no.
it's clean.
It's one of the cleanest, best. It's the best takeaway for you in terms of you're getting a good quality carbohydrate, great protein without any E numbers.
Well, I went on a bit of a rant
Additional
about this with
fats.
public health thing, didn't I? Because we did wrote a blog recently about public health.
Yeah.
And how they're making a big push about closing hot food takeaways that are close to certain schools.
Yeah.
Like postcode thing. And I get it because they're trying to drive down obesity, right?
Yeah.
Childhood obesity. But I don't get the approach. I don't understand how, I don't know, like a chia batter that was made 6 days ago, right? Or 4 days ago, pre-packed, sold through a big food service company, right? And a meal deal in a school is a better offer for a child than just eating a product like fish and chips. And I know the high fat issue and all of that, but you've got to get your head around the sort of difference between clean food and not clean
100%,
food.
100%.
They're
I
big,
know,
different things.
It is, but as long as you're not knocking it back with a tub of ice cream at the end of it, do you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing, isn't it?
Family tub of Ben and Jerry's.
Ice cream shooter.
yeah, ice cream shooter. But I mean, I just want to tag on. I was sorry, it was really trying to not.
No, I was
interrupt
going off on a
there,
rant
but-
there. I've got to be honest.
No, it's because it's understanding. It's just that you're talking about quality of fish and what it takes to get that fish. And it's, for me, always when the kids have left like a little bit of salmon on the plate, I'm like, that ain't going in the bin.
Yeah.
That ain't going in the bin. I'll have it because I know what it takes and the level to get that thing on your
totally.
plate. And also, that's the most expensive thing you're eating on that plate as well. So hence, fish shouldn't be cheap.
No, 100%. But you go back like if you grill someone a piece of salmon, put it on a plate, they're happy to spend 20 quid on it.
Yeah.
But if you put that piece of fish in batter, suddenly they think that should be half the price.
You're right.
Yeah.
Aye.
Why? It's the same protein, it's the same quality, but somehow when it goes into the batter, people perceive it as being, well, I'm not paying £20 for that. But if I'd grilled it with a little bit of butter and put a little bit of fresh herb on the top, you'd think, well, 20 quid, no bother, no problem.
It's the added
It's
value
perception.
thing.
No, completely.
It's
yeah.
perception.
Yeah,
And it's almost like the batter in their minds has took it backwards from a value point
And it
of view.
shouldn't.
Maybe instead of newspaper, you got to wrap it in gold leaf. Just put a little seal, a stamp on
totally.
it. You get your little wax seal, like a Game of Thrones.
Got to do something. But it's
I remember the fishing. You remember the newspapers and all. Do you know what I mean?
100% newspaper.
I remember picking crab on newspapers and stuff on a Saturday at my nana's house. Do you know what I mean? So that's
totally.
where I'm from. After being down South Shales, sitting at me Westlands burger and my chips. But everyone has their own thing. One's
totally.
apple sausage, one's apple
Newspaper,
fish,
though,
one's apple
actually
burger.
affected the taste of fish and chips
did. The
in
smell
my
was
mind.
phenomenal, yeah.
And the smell was amazing.
But they still use a
All
paper.
that ink and print.
Aye, but they still use a paper, which is very similar to the
Yeah, yeah,
newspaper paper. So the smell, and I love the smell of the fish and chips coming through the paper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We don't do fish and chips and paper anymore, just to keep the quality right.
Is
But
it
I'm not
boxes
going-
now?
Boxes.
Yeah.
But I do
Aye.
still.
But that's an
like
era
fish and
thing,
chips
though.
wrapped up.
I can cope with the boxes.
Ah,
It's,
but-
it's the polystyrene trays. I feel
hate
let
it.
down immediately. I'm
I
like,
can't touch
can't have that.
them. I just when you stick your fork in,
Yeah.
and you get that noise,
Yeah.
and you go, "Ah, God, what's that?"
I'm going to go in, right? I'm going to go, cardboard's paper adjacent. Do you know what I mean? It is, though, isn't it?
It is.
You're
It's
right.
It's evolution on the back.
It is. It's an evolution on the back because you still get that smell because it's coming through like it's just a thick paper, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Gonna really break cardboard down. It's thick paper.
Oh dear me.
Yeah.
But quality's so important. We
is.
should
Aye,
be,
completely.
right,
It's
in my
quality,
opinion,
yeah.
the North East should be like some of the best in the country because of where we are.
100%.
It's the amount of coastal landscape we have in the fishing industry and everything else. We should be but I've had some, I'm not naming them, but I've had some stonkers.
Yeah, but we've got access to
Like,
them. We
oh, we have?
literally have the best fish
But
in the country.
Mate, I went we were a few years ago, right? I was passing through, and luckily I can't remember the name of the business, but we were passing through Berwick.
Yeah.
And you just make an assumption in the northeast. You just think, well, anywhere along the coastline, who's going to get fish and chips wrong? And we went to this place, right? This place. That's what it was called.
This place.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Well, there will be somewhere called this place. Like.
Oh, 100%.
So it was down on the little promenade. The kids were young, and I'm sure it was a bank holiday weekend. You went to this fish and chip shop, and they were like, came out in plastic and polystyrene cartons, and they were effectively like McCain's oven chips with, do you know, like breaded fish
Yeah.
that you just whack in the oven. That's what it was.
Shocking.
Is that not
And
just
I just could not get my head around it.
was somebody not just selling that from the house? Just out the back window.
Someone's made a tenner off you. 10 minutes, I'll get the other dog.
Put
I
that sign
put
up.
that sign on.
Put that sign
Yeah,
up.
to see if you can upsell some of those Pears as well, will you?
We've got loads of chips in the freezer. Can we get shot of them?
Can't bring little Archie. Can't get them Pears out. You got
But it blew my mind. You know, when you think about that, you think, hold on, Northumberland, Northumberland, coastal town, visitor destination, all that sort of stuff. You've got to get those things right.
Yeah.
Do you
Simple
not think
things.
people get the simple things wrong the most?
They do. They do.
Like
because they
simple things are the hardest to get really well. Like a good full English breakfast.
Yes.
It's a very simple dish, but
Yeah.
you get it wrong so many times.
It's
Yeah.
complacency.
Yeah.
Because you get lazy with it.
Yeah.
You go, just a bit of butter on a bread. Hang on. You've got to
There's a
take
way.
a bit of care and attention to this, you
100%.
know. But if you get it right, just don't change it. That's it.
100%.
You don't change it.
100%.
Because if you go to Italy, we were talking about this as well, you go to somewhere where it hasn't changed for 200 years and you'll go, I want to get that traditional loaf of bread. I want to get that. They haven't changed it.
Yeah, totally.
But you'll pay through the nose for that thing. Why you're not going to do the same over here? And that's a problem as well,
Yeah,
I think.
it is.
You know?
I don't know how you change that mentality though.
Just time.
It is time, and
it's
just
time.
keep doing what you're doing. Like
Yeah.
we've kind of stuck to our roots since day one. Our fish and chips haven't really changed.
Yeah.
In terms of we're just trying. It's a very simple dish. The only thing you can do is source the best ingredients
Yeah.
and cook it with passion.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. We've got a couple of recipes that nobody else will have, but essentially, you've only got the fish and the potatoes and the batter. If one of those three things is not right,
Yeah.
then you it's a
Do
recipe
you think
for
one of the
disaster.
problems is though? Do you think it is when people are trying to chase customers and build that audience, get more customers through, build the footfall, that they start to think it's a bit like, you'll see that it's like mission creep, right? You see it on a street food van when they're doing great things, but they start bolting on stuff because they're going to get an extra 10 customers.
Yeah.
So you go into some places and they take their eyes off the three main things. You get the batter right, get the fish right, get the chips right, and everything else around. Get the seasoning right. I told you Rick Stein's story. I'll tell you that in a minute. But they so often don't. So like they're adding things in to try and diversify what they're doing. But actually, they're diluting the core of what they could be great at.
Yeah. Yeah. Why change something that works?
Yeah.
How much is the fat? How important is the oil and the fat in this cooking process? Because I think that's what makes the flavour, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we use vegetable oil, but people have. It's a very subjective thing. Fish and chips as well. That's one thing I wanted to touch on. But the oil is the most important thing. You use bad oil, you diminish all the flavour of that good product straight away, because it just musks everything that it is. It's got to be fresh oil all the time, but it's just managing it right. But it's just time.
So there isn't an element of like keeping it, you know, like a whiskey cask where you keep a little bit in and then it adds on to the flavour.
No.
There isn't an element of that.
No.
I thought there was, you know.
I've heard some people say that, but I've never in a
the
good
fat's
kitchen. I've
20
worked in.
years old.
Nah.
The fryer's never been
You
cleaned.
can smell bad oil.
Yeah,
You can smell
yeah,
it.
bad.
It's horrible.
Bad oil is probably the worst
contaminates.
thing that you can do with fish and chips.
Really?
Yeah, because bad oil's essentially worse than having really bad potatoes or really bad fish, because it musks the flavour of both things. As soon as you put it into that oil, that's all you taste.
Aye.
So
It's just that's the thing. That's the additional ingredient which no one thinks about. It's the
The oil.
oil, because everything gets cooked in that, and that's a flavour.
Totally.
And how much it burns, and how you get that charred, and
100%.
that.
Keep going. No, I can't help it. I've got to get the
Soft and
seasoning
the
thing off my head
crispy
as
and the
well.
kinda-
Why is it so
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
right?
Aye.
So if you don't get your fish and chips seasoned at the fish and chip shop,
Aye.
it's just not the same.
no,
Yeah.
And I had this, we made this almighty error, right? Years ago, we took the kids down to Cornwall,
yeah,
right? Stayed there for a fortnight. Went, we've got to go to Padstow, just drive through, go and get some fish and chips. Just queued for like 2 hours, right? And the kids were like, 10 and 7, right? They're sitting in the car, partners at the front of the queue and all that. And it took ages. And she came back and I went, oh, did you get salt on it?
oh no,
No. I was like,
Gotta go
and
back.
we looked at the queue and we're like, oh, we're not getting back in there. There's no chance. And it just shows. So going back to that, the fourth critical ingredient
salt and vinegar.
is salt and vinegar. Well, 4 and 5. It's salt and vinegar because it just ruined the whole thing.
Which way would you do it though?
The one on-
Oh, mate, I've got a triple approach. I go vinegar first, then salt.
We've asked this.
Yeah,
I test it, then I might add a bit more salt. I
Yeah.
like the vinegar and make the salt stick.
yeah. That's
Is that right?
That's correct.
Get in.
We don't have vinegar in shaky bottles though. We have vinegars in spray bottles,
Spray bottles, so it disappears
so it
evenly.
covers the whole thing.
For the true gastronome. Like that. I'm going to do that at home.
But then also when you put it in like a dash bottle, you get like big blobs, and it makes those bits of the batter soggy.
Yeah.
Whereas the spray is evenly coated,
Yeah.
so it stops the product from going
Right, hold on
soggy.
a minute, right.
you
Colmans,
can overdo
Monopoly
it.
Man, spray bottle for vinegar. They're the three things I've taken away from this today. Spray bottle vinegar. Right, okay, I'm doing that.
I don't think I've ever used a spray bottle on fish and chips before. Like.
But I get that.
Yeah, but I've never seen it done
Maximum
anywhere else.
distribution of acid.
But you
Even coverage.
I think, but you're going to use less. You'll go two sprays.
No, but it's like, no, but you'll get the micro spray.
Yeah, but you can put more
It's not
on,
going to pool at the
and
bottom.
it doesn't get it soggy either.
That's it.
You can put much more vinegar on, and you still get a
Because
nice
you do
crisp
that,
batter.
it's always going to end up at the bottom. Like
No, I'm doing it
swimming,
tonight, don't
isn't it?
Filling spray bottles up with vinegar. And
He's going to go on
Can I
all the
get a-
condiments in the cupboard and see what it
I'm gonna
spray.
nick a
Do
shot.
you know what I mean? It's like a spray test. What can spray?
What
out of these
vinegar?
bottles.
non-brew condiment. We don't. We have malt vinegar. We have both.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
But-
another thing. Is it malt? Like Sarson's kind of. That's what we.
But malt vinegar has a very stronger. I prefer non-brew condiment
Yeah.
than malt vinegar on my fish and chips because it's got that kind of acidity to vinegar, but it doesn't overpower the. But then some people have malt vinegar. I think it's a preference thing, but I think fish and chips is very subjective as a dish.
It is.
Some people like soggy batter, some people like crispy batter, some people like dark chips, some people like light chips.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bag of surprises, isn't it?
It totally
I like a
is.
mixture of all those things.
Yes.
I like getting a scoop of soggy batter, but then now and again a bit of crunch
Bit
in
of
the middle.
crispy bit. See, I always have batter bits on mine.
Yeah, I do as
So
well.
when if the batter does go a bit soggy, those batter bits always stay crispy.
I feel a bit offended when I go to fish and chip shops and they don't sell them.
Yeah.
Or they don't provide them. They're just chucked out.
Well, we give them
Hold on
all.
a
We
minute.
just give them away. Bags of batter. Just get a bag of batter in.
Yeah.
Bag of batter. Plus, you can share it out, and it's going to stay fresh and crispy when you get home or
like
wherever you can eat it.
It's like the evolution of the crisp, isn't it?
It's just like, yeah, you're
A
right.
bag of batter.
Bag of batter.
batter.
Aye.
We should bag batter and sell it like crisps.
But is
Yes. It's a bar snack for you.
is it
Bag of batter.
Bag of batter, yeah.
you used to get asked that. Do people still ask, do you want batter?
Always. Do you want batter on your
Because
chips?
sometimes they don't, man.
Have to have batter
And
on your
sometimes it's always in the corner. You've always got to have
Yeah.
scrape it in the corner, right? Because it comes off all
Gotta
the
get it
fish
over
and
the top.
Aye. And sometimes when you don't see that little pile of butter in the corner, you're like, what's going on, eh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's I almost want to go out.
I love it.
I do as well.
I'm getting hungry here.
I know.
I'm around it every day and I'm still hungry.
I just want. Well, what's your fish and chips? What would you go for? What's your ideal? Plus, also, are you having something with it? Come on,
Fish.
I'm going straight to the menu. Eh?
Yeah, no,
Just
I know, I
'cause
can't help it.
we're on
Well, start it
Well,
out
for
there.
a start,
Right,
fish wise, I love cod.
Yeah.
Cod.
Cod and chips.
So the
Yeah.
king of fish, or what do you think?
It's cod.
Number one.
It's our number one seller.
Is it?
Yeah.
Has that changed over the years, or has it always been number one? Because there's
Always.
a whole push around haddock, wasn't it?
Always.
It's switched because of the
pollock and whatever.
pricing and stuff like that over the years. But I
Yeah.
think it's come back to cod because now
Yeah.
cod's cheaper.
Because haddock used to be the cheaper option, didn't it?
But
We
what
are
do-
90% cod.
Did they swap it out with hake? Did they swap it
Well,
out?
that's pollock as well,
We
isn't
sell
it?
hake, we
Hake.
sell pollock, but
Aye.
hake,
to go
I
for
love
pollock.
hake.
Aye.
But it's
Cod and
it's
chips.
if you
Yeah.
put everything on a blackboard,
Yeah.
you can guarantee that 9 people out of 10 can just have cod and chips.
But that's all they know. It's kind of, but they've known that for
100%.
years, and it was always cod and chips.
100%.
Haddock was always like number two. Do you know what I mean?
But it does work.
Yeah.
Like,
So you're having cod and chips.
yeah,
You're having batter on.
batter on, salt and vinegar, mushy peas, curry sauce, tartar sauce,
Yeah. That's my order.
pot
That's
of
what I
tea, or either a dandelion burdock or ginger beer.
Right, this is South Shields DNA because that's exactly what I would have.
Is that right?
Yeah, honestly. So when I came to Colmans, when I went to Temple, I had a dandelion and burdock and a ginger beer with my pick.
No way.
And a cup of tea.
It is a pot of tea.
Pot of
Pot
tea.
of tea.
Pot of tea. Huh? I'll go for a buttered roll as well. Like,
Aye, stotty.
aye. Oh,
Stotty, you know.
Gotta have a stotty.
yeah, got to.
I'm saying the FaceTime, mate.
I don't always have a stotty if I'm totally honest.
Yeah.
But you've got to have peas, you've got to have curry, and you've got to have tartar sauce.
Yeah.
I start with the tartar sauce,
Yeah. Yes.
and then so I'll start with the tartar sauce,
Okay.
and then the tartar sauce will move after about
Yeah.
I'm a third in, and then I'll get the peas on the plate and get the curry over the top.
Leveling up on your sauces. That's I get that.
Layering.
Yeah, it is layering.
You're layering up.
Layering up on sauce.
Yeah.
You mentioned plate here, so because instantly I'm going, how the hell do you fit all that in this box on a tray? I'm like,
I much
how are you
prefer
eating it?
having fish and chips on a plate.
On a
sitting
plate.
down. Yeah.
So you're sitting down because now you've got room. Now
Yeah.
I can see it now. I can picture this
Yeah.
because I need to picture it. Right?
Yeah.
There you. I thought you're on your knee. Do you know what I mean? You're going, you can't eat this in the car.
Nah.
Where you putting that?
Nah.
You're popping the gravy on the dash and then you got the kind of
No,
towel.
not totally.
Yeah. Can someone pass it? Do you know what I mean? In the back of the car now. Do you know what I mean? Are you finished with this?
I've done that as well.
Terrors of a bit of stotty. You don't know. A hand just comes
Just
over
with a
and gives you
stotty
a bit
over
of
the top.
stotty. Yeah, just a bit of dip. Aye. But I can say it now. You're on a plate. This is like a feast. This mine. This should be like a feast.
Well, it is.
Feast.
It is a
It's an
feast.
It is a
absolute
feast.
feast because you have made this whole perfect world that you love.
I
Do you know
love
what I
it.
mean? And you go, that's just the right amount of that. That goes on first.
I'll have it
That's
every
what I
week.
said. Yeah.
Every week I'll have
I was
that.
going to ask you that though, right? Because going back to your Italian family,
Yeah.
right? How much has that influenced the way you eat at home, like as a family? How do you still have any sort of what I'm getting at is do your roots still go back to Italy when you eat on an everyday basis?
I mean, our mostly eating thing in the house is pasta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you still
I mean, my nana's still alive, who is now 99.
Yeah.
She makes food still all the time. Pasta.
I was going to say, do you sell 99s as well?
We do have Mincella's ice cream.
Picture
Yeah,
your
to keep
gran on
those
it, man.
Italian roots.
I just wanted to see if it was like a perfect fusion between your old world
Yeah.
and your background, but actually what it is you now do as a family. Are they just merged into one thing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in
Just
the
find that
house,
really interesting.
not at work,
Yeah.
because it's. I have Italian roots, but I'm
Yeah.
born and bred British. Well,
Yeah.
Sandancer actually,
Sandancer. Yeah.
Sandancer. But I still have a lot of like time, and we'll go back to Italy every year, and I spend a lot of time like studying the heritage and the family history, and
Okay.
it all roots back
Yeah.
to Italy on both sides of the family
Oh,
as
does
well.
it?
What I must say is that, so obviously the Colmans is from my dad's side,
Yeah.
but also my mum's side are Italian, actually more Italian. So both my mum and dad's, both my mum's parents are Italian. They were Valentis in Sunderland.
All right. Okay.
So used to have ice cream in Sunderland. So there's Italian heritage on both sides.
There's a lot of Italian heritage in the northeast. Isn't
Massive.
there? Massive.
Massive.
Yeah.
Is that why we've got short tempers? Is that where that comes from?
You've got a short temper.
Hey.
You have. Sorry.
You Italian?
Some people have said that before with the dark hair and all that, the kind of vibe. No, I've done the DNA thing, 100% Eastern European.
Oh yeah.
Really?
100%.
100 full beans from just over the water there, nice and cold.
Seriously?
Aye, seriously. Yeah.
Have you done yours? I've done mine recently as well.
I haven't actually.
I was 87% Scottish.
I reckon I'll be. I think I'll be. A
And
bit
then
of a
some
mongrel.
Eastern European, then some from the States. About 4%.
87% Scottish.
Aye.
I think I'll be.
Look at
I'll
this.
be mongrel.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
No, it was,
Yeah.
like it was all that kind of Northern Eastern.
But I looked at it because it starts to make sense. Because I look 87%, but then I looked at all my family sort of slowly moved down Northumberland.
Right. Okay.
Say Amble and Rothbury, and then worked their way South Shields.
Down
So
to
my dad, we saw my dad's family.
down to the homeland
South
of
Shields,
South
aye.
Shields.
The homeland
Aye,
of
there's
South
the
Shields,
homeland.
Yeah.
It
I
is.
love Shields.
Sun and the
Honestly,
tours.
Best beaches.
there's nowhere I love
Best
more in
beaches,
this
mate.
world
Yeah.
than South Shields.
We have
Yeah.
this sort of like tug of war,
Especially
me
on
and
a
my
summer's day
partner.
and all.
Oh, it is.
There's
honestly.
no better place.
It
Honestly,
isn't.
No better place.
I was in a temple. I was in the
You're right,
temple
aye.
yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And it was about 17 degrees, and I was just stood in the temple. It was packed. The restaurant was full. The queuing in the takeaway,
Yeah.
and I was just looking out the window, and I was like, "This is mint.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, this is not work.
I don't want
This
to be
is
anywhere
just-
else. Yeah.
Class. I love it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the best
I
place
gravitate
in
towards
the
it,
world
Richard.
when
Still,
it's
I still like with my kids. My kids were born in Newcastle in the RVI. My partner is from Jesmond,
yeah.
which is half Greek, right? But I live on the coast road in Heaton, right? So I can get to Tynemouth in 10 minutes. I will always go through the tunnel
Shields.
to come back to Shields. If it's my choice.
Yeah.
If it's to take the dog out, if it's to go out with the kids, if it's to go for fish and chips, anything, I'll go back to South Shields all the time.
Yeah.
You stick your roots,
It
though,
has a
don't
feel.
you?
It has a feel. over there.
You do stick to your roots, like. But I think that's important. I think it's part of who we are, isn't it?
It is. And if I can get my knees in it, I'll still go on the train in Marine Park as well.
I haven't been on that. I haven't been on that for years.
I know.
I'll have to take the bands on. I don't even know whether I'd get in now.
Nah, I don't think I would.
I don't think I'd fit in it. I genuinely don't. I'll have to sit on the roof. Any luck? You got a bit of support here.
Hey, man. That's really, really
What
interesting.
is that? I don't know. So you've never forgot that because clearly you've kind of been in it from being a kid.
Yeah.
You've always been around it. So you've never had the want or need to kind of disappear and come back and kind of go and explore.
No, I did a little bit of travelling when I was younger. When I just left sixth form, I was never, my mum and dad never ever were like, gotta come into the family business.
Yeah.
They were actually the opposite. They were like, do what you want.
Right.
That's probably why it's worked.
So for me,
I
but that's a
think
bit
that is.
confusing for me because that was like, then I have to make that decision what I actually want to do.
Did you ever have a wobble? Did you ever kind of go, did you push back a little bit and think, well,
Probably when I just left sixth form, I was a bit, it wasn't a wobble because I still loved doing it, but I was like, well, I just want to go and see something. So I spent a little bit of time in Australia and Thailand for about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Hated it.
Chips and
Basically
crap.
just partied the whole time I was there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I was supposed to be there for longer and I was like, nah, it's not for me. I need to get back and I need to get to work. And then
Shows that you must feel like a purpose when you feel like
Yeah.
you feel that strongly about it.
yeah, and I could have stayed there for another year if I wanted to. My mum and dad were like, look, we want you to do what we want to do. And I was like, I have to come back. And I made that decision. And then and I've been there ever since.
That's spot on, isn't it?
It is, totally.
Because at
But I
least you
made the
know
decision.
you made the decision.
Yeah.
You came back by yourself to kind of
Same as my brother, Dominic. He's doing the same thing. There was never the kind of push to do it. It was a pretty natural process. But I think that's why, but we love it. And I think that's why we want to drive it forward because it's not work.
Yeah, I was going to ask though, when did it feel like it went from working for your parents to it being your business that you could push forward and you could make decisions and do different things? Or
When we opened the temple.
I was going to, yeah.
So the temple, I was 24 when we opened the temple, and at the time it was pretty daunting. I was only 24, and it was a massive kind
project, 'cause
it was a huge
flagship
project.
place.
It was a huge gamble
Yeah.
to do that because if it didn't work, well, it could be a big problem for us as a family. And I kind of took that challenge, and don't get me wrong, it was hard. I mean, I was working like 20 hours a day for the first 6 months, 12 months. I was sleeping there at some points to make sure that I was going to prep and get orders and stuff in because I was just so focused on making it work. Nothing else around mattered.
Is that because you felt your investment as a person in it?
Yeah,
Like,
and
more responsibility from you.
100%. Like, that was kind of my first. Yes, my mum and dad were involved, but it was the focus was on me to get it right.
You're holding the reins, aren't you?
And it wasn't a choice if it's not going to work. The only choice was it has to work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure at 24, though, mate.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a lot. Because at 24, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. you know?
Nah, it was massive. But I tell you what, I learned more in that first year of opening the temple than I'd learned the 24 years prior to that. And probably from the next kind of 9 years post that.
Yeah.
There was so much went on in that 12 month that I learned enough life experience, like with the Phoenix restaurant opening now. The transition from 2 to 3 restaurants was like a drop in the ocean compared to going from Ocean Road to
1 to
Temple.
2 is like
So
a
what I
big
learned
leap.
from that was invaluable for us moving forward to more sites.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it really, and I learned that kind of set me up for this is hard work.
So massive for you though when I think about it. So I opened a restaurant about the same age when I was 24, but I didn't have any of. See, you had like legacy and reputation and
Pressure.
all that
like,
pressure
yeah,
coming
that's
from
a lot
like
of pressure,
having already like an institution of a business that everybody had expectations of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, so I get that. You know, I when I opened my place, you'd be there, you'd sleep there on a table.
Yeah,
And
totally.
you'd be there all the time because there's so much risk attached to it. And I don't think people understand. Well, it's a bit like how you operate. That you're not handing the baton to somebody. You're doing prep yourself.
Yeah.
You're setting up the floor yourself. You're putting all the standards in place
100%.
that you want to hand on to other people in time. But sometimes that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's no wonder why sometimes you get solo entrepreneurs who are opening restaurants and they're doing it from a place of purpose.
Yeah.
That they burn out really quickly.
Yeah.
Because those 20-hour days can last for years in some instances. with-
Oh,
with some
100%.
But
We-
you know, yeah.
We're really lucky in it as well to have the people that we have around us as well. We've got a really kind of loyal staff.
It's hard to find that though. That must have took time to build.
Yeah, I mean, Michael and Alan, right,
Yeah.
who work in Ocean Road. They're the two main guys at Ocean Road, right?
Mm-hmm.
Michael's been with the family for 45 years and Alan's been with the family for 50 years. There's
Yeah.
95 years of service between them.
Yeah.
So they've potentially worked with the past, I'm not even sure, what, definitely 3 generations of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially Alan might have even worked with the 4th generation. Like, how mad is that?
Yeah, that is mad.
That is nuts.
That's like some muscle memory, isn't it, of
Yeah.
the whole entire business?
Insane, isn't it?
I'm
Yeah.
just thinking of the stories we could make something
Oh.
really nice out of that. That could be a
Yeah.
thing, couldn't it?
Yeah, totally.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Fascinating, that wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What they've seen through the years,
Incredible.
the doors plus the change
Yeah.
because you're doing it, but they're saying it
I'm
from the
sure
outside
Alan
in.
said when he first started, fish and chips was 3 pence.
3 pence.
3 pence.
My word.
Sorry, a fish was 3 pence and a bag of chips was half pence.
Aye.
That's when Alan first started.
Is that
That's just mind
is that the same equivalent now though? Is it always been that kind of level? Because what's chips?
I don't know what that would do. I mean,
Bag of
that would be
chips
50 years, so that'll be 70s.
What's a bag of chips now? 150?
No. 350.
350 for a bag of chips.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
fish?
well, you on like a sort of
Fish on its own takeaway will be about
I'm talking about the
anywhere
silicone
between
one.
8 and 10 quid,
Right.
depending on the size.
Right. All right. I'm wheeled.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
You know why?
But-
Because I didn't look at the price now. Kids want something I just
You
want.
don't.
it's not worth it. It's
That's the
not worth
problem.
arguing. Just get
isn't.
it.
That's a
I know
reason.
about that.
Because I'm going back to like silver grid when when you're 18, you go, how much do I want to pay? Right, okay, what can you afford kind of thing,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it's just dit, what do you need?
Yeah.
That's it.
Right, go for it.
And then
get
you
it.
just say at the end going, 35 quid. Then that's where you're at.
But that's the challenge, though, because like people don't really think about I mean, like, who sits and thinks about the economy whilst they're buying fish and chips?
Yeah.
But it's all relative.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
100%.
So
Oh, no, you're
the
right.
prices haven't shot up, right? They're just relative to what what everything else has. You know,
Yeah.
when people look at the things like a bag of like a loaf of bread, pint of milk, and fish and chips, right?
Yeah.
Or like that barometers
Yeah,
as to whether
totally.
they're doing well or not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that memories always hark back. It's like getting a bus.
Mine
going,
is stuck in that time. I
$2.95.
still think everything's
No, I
150.
do. That's what I'm saying. No, you do. Like, I say, getting a bus, $2.95. Like,
How much is it chop? It's only 10 pence, isn't it?
Freddo's, man.
I totally.
They're a quid.
I'm going to go.
So how much a Freddo is now?
Some-
About a quid.
yeah,
quid,
a
aye.
quid.
I was
I
like,
know, it was always
I
10
mean-
pence, wasn't it?
I mean, I remember Freddo being 10 pence at one point.
It was.
Well, there were, aye. There was always 10
That
pence.
was always the pocket money product, wasn't it?
Aye, it was just like little taster when you're on your way, you know?
But tuck shop, we used to have a tuck shop at school.
Oh,
What
We
was,
used to get like Freddos and Boosts was my thing.
what
I
was
still like a boost.
I do like the Boost. I like the little the crunchy bit inside.
Crunchy Bits perfect?
Unreal.
Yeah.
Peanut butter boost
Yeah.
and all that
Unreal.
kind of, biscuit boost.
Yeah.
What's your top 3 chocolate bars?
Ooh.
They go straight in, yeah, like, aren't you?
I'm straight in.
Straight
Half
into
these
this
questions on air, I'm going straight in.
I do love a Boost.
Uh-huh.
I love
Original.
yeah,
blue one.
original blue
Yeah,
Boost.
same. Yeah.
Yorkie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
Plain.
original Yorkie.
it's the thickness of the
So
chocolate.
I like a fruit
That
and nuts. I like
raisin
the
with
raisin
the
one.
biscuit in.
Oh,
Have you had that
raisin
one?
Biscuit Yorkie?
Yes.
Aye, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
Aye.
But I think I would still go original over it.
Mm-hmm.
And then my favourite, which still now I only buy them on special occasions, right? Even though they're not that
build
expensive
this up now.
compared to what I thought about, was, do you know, Gillian seashells?
Yes.
Yes.
That's me number one.
Really?
So every Christmas, you can guarantee my mother will have me a box of Gillian, but I only eat them on special occasions. Even though I could go to the supermarket and buy them any time of the year, right? I still only keep them for special occasions.
But they
Is
stay
it
special
you own a
because
fish and chip restaurant? Is it like the sort of Ferrero Rocher of Colmans?
Totally. The little seashell. But I also think, right, if you dive into it, right, some of them taste better than others just because of the shape of them. Like the seahorses don't taste as good as the mussels.
Yeah.
They're the same chocolate, but somewhere in my mind says that seahorse is not
Do you
good.
know what it is? I wish we had a box now. Could shotgun some of them.
I think you go. I think it's very similar to a Yorkie. It's the thickness of the chocolate.
Yeah.
That's what you're enjoying.
100%.
If something's thin, it hasn't got that thing about it. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And then you go Toblerone, and then you just lose the roof of your mouth, don't you?
Yeah.
Does that list stay the same? Because my list never stays the same.
So the Gillian seashell, I don't think I'll ever be taken off the top spot.
But you've kept them special by only having them on special occasions. You haven't overeaten them.
100%.
You haven't diluted it down, have you?
And it's memories. Like I remember eating them as a kid with like Nana and my mum.
There you go.
And I think that's also plays into it.
Yeah.
One of the generational things, because I remember a walnut whip.
Walnut whips.
Walnut whip.
With a blue foil.
Yeah. I mean, they were special.
Would
Can you still get them?
I don't think you can.
No,
Can you?
I saw a walnut whip a few weeks ago because I'm like, I haven't had one. I saw one. I haven't had one them
Where's
for
this
forever.
where?
Even now, chocolate orange, you got a mint orange. I'm like, whoa there.
Yeah.
Throwing things off.
Where can
A
you get
mint,
walnut
well,
whip
like a
from?
Terry's
Sure,
chocolate orange.
supermarket, aye. Terry's chocolate orange. Yeah.
The mint one.
I think get a
that's
mint
not
chocolate
like
orange.
that.
Yeah.
They're synonymous.
What's a Terry's chocolate? Aye,
Yeah,
kinda-
the chocolate
and then
orange.
you got to drop it, to crack it and break it. You know what I mean? You got to like find different ways.
Have you ever done it on your... Have you ever...
On top of
Yeah.
your head.
Oh,
I used to always leave it in the foil and just whack it on the table and hope that you wouldn't snap a segment in half and the segments would just come out.
But the best bit was when the centre bit was stuck to a segment, and then that's like triple chocolate on that thing, innit?
The little column of
Little
chocolate.
column
around
of
the
chocolate
middle.
on there.
Unreal. And I used to bite that bit off first.
Oh, did you? I just snapped it off the segment all the way down. See, it's how you eat them as well. You know, you nibble around at
100%.
something, and then you,
It's a bit like...
it's all of that.
Have you
Like
ever
how you
had
eat a
one of those-
cornetto.
Love
How do you
that.
eat a cornetto? Do you know what I mean?
I bite the bottom off
You
first.
eat round the edges,
You bite
then
the
you
what?
push it down so
A
you.
little bit at the bottom.
You bite that off first.
Because I try to use it and I sort of... I've got this thing about making it into a mini ice cream.
Like a mini 99.
So I bite the bottom off and then I scoop some ice cream. Oh, look at that.
It sounds like you're doing, like an egg time, like a sand thing. You're doing it. Can't eat it before it drips out the bottom.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
totally.
mean? Well, it is.
That's like
It is.
That's
It's
like
like
a
dropping a
game.
boiled egg in water. I'm like, if I'm going to have it at the optimal temperature, I've got to eat it within that time frame.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah, I've never thought about it. You just,
the bottom
it's like,
first.
it's just, you're like shotgunning a kind of cornetto.
Like, go!
Oh, eat it before it drips
Before it
down
melts
the
all the way down.
all the way down.
Love that.
Oh, but I always, you got to push the ice cream. So the last bit, you got the chocolate at the bottom, and you still got a little bit of ice cream and corn, because then you get all of the things. That's the last bite. The last bite, I want everything. I'm not just wanting wafer. I don't just want the chocolate. I want a bit of ice
want a
cream in
lot.
there and all. I want a lot. You got to save the best for last, always.
Yeah.
You push like something over to the other side of your plate. So if you're doing fish and chips, you know for a fact there's got to be a chip, there's got to be a bit of butter, you've got to have your fish on there, and then you've got to have all your sauces.
Yeah.
It has to be that last bite, has to be the best thing on that plate.
Yeah. Do you know
That
what I
last
would
bite.
do as well? I'll always get my fish first and then the chip, because the chips sort of acts like a stopper on the fork
Stop where the
to
fork,
stop the
aye.
fish
Yeah,
falling
Yeah,
off.
yeah. Because
Is
the
that
chip,
not right?
the fish will just
But
fall
then it
off, wouldn't
also gives
aye.
you the ability
'Cause
to dunk it
yeah,
and it
Yeah.
stays on the fork.
yeah. Because if you
Yeah,
put it in a sauce, that's like a cement, and you got to pull it out.
If you just got a bit of fish, it just
No.
falls into the sauce
the
and you're scooping
So
it out.
Yeah.
the chips, the stopper.
Aye.
That's another level.
Chip
That.
stopper.
We should stick that on the menu, like how
Yeah.
you do that.
Yeah.
It's the nuance of how you eat the fish
Yeah.
and chips. So, yeah. But that's it. That's it. But I think you're right as well when you're doing it on a plate, fish and chips, because the knife and fork, you can add things on. You can bring the thing to
Yeah.
the actual fork with the knife.
Yeah.
If you're in the car, you'd buy the seaside. If you got two things, you're not double dipping. You can't go ketchup then gravy or gravy then ketchup, because then one will go on the other.
Yeah.
Guys, you realise though,
Right.
right? I know we've talked about this anyway, the seafood thing. You know this has got to be a festival of some sort.
Seafood.
I think
We'll
this
have
is-
to.
100%.
You eat the fish and chips thing, but there's something about, right, coastal food.
Yeah.
And some people think it's a bit naff, but that's actually really, really evocative. Things that you
100%.
remember growing up. Hot donuts, right?
Yeah.
From a fair. candy floss, toffee apples, right?
99s.
99s,
Monkey's blood.
ice cream, monkey's blood.
Monkey's blood.
Monkey's blood. I mean,
raspberry sauce now.
it is. Just raspberry sauce, monkey's blood.
Monkey's blood.
I didn't notice
The only
anything
sauce you
else
could
when
get.
I was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, nobody knows monkey's blood outside the northeast. Funny thing, when we were doing the menu for Phoenix, we had monkey's blood on the menu.
Yes.
And they sent it to someone at Phoenix in London in head office.
Yeah.
And they were like, sorry, what's that? And we're like,
Oh, you see, that's what.
me and Amy were like, monkey's blood.
Yeah, this is.
And I was like, they were like,
It feels like
Can you
you
elaborate?
know.
raspberry sauce. Right, so why don't you just put raspberry sauce? Say, because that's not what you call it in the northeast. You call it monkey's blood.
Called monkey's blood.
But
You know what you
you
should
know
do?
what it is?
Put it in brackets.
It is.
Yeah,
Down south.
yeah. But
This
they didn't
is
understand. They
raspberry
didn't
sauce.
even have,
Yeah.
not even the foggiest idea of what it was.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, though. This is what I get really serious about these things, because that's what I think is really unique about the region's food
Yeah.
industry. And I think if we don't capture those things, it's a proper disservice.
Yeah, totally.
But everybody knew what monkey's
It
blood
did.
was. It
No,
wasn't
but
like
would
from
you
town
call
to
it
town,
raspberry
there was a
sauce? I wouldn't
wall.
have called it
Yeah.
raspberry sauce. I wouldn't have even known
Yeah.
No,
to call it that.
Aye.
Would you have?
it would always be
Simple
monkey's
stuff.
blood.
Yeah. But there was
Yeah.
only one sauce.
Then you got chocolate sauce crept in over time.
Well, I don't
Did-
like that.
yeah.
It used to solidify straight away.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
It makes it's got to be monkey's blood.
Yeah.
So you can get that blue bubblegum one now as well, and I'm just like, what's that?
I know.
But it's like the
Yeah,
fish and
kids
chips.
do that,
Keep
yeah.
it simple,
Yeah,
man.
so just
Monkey's good ice cream,
why
good
change
cones.
what works?
It's like a cider lolly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Simple things. That
Right, so
never
when-
changes. And you always go, you have a lemonade and a cider lolly. Now what else?
Cider lolly,
Don't anymore.
it was, yeah.
Cider
Yeah.
lolly was fantastic.
It was fantastic.
Because we talked about shandy yesterday as well. Not many kids drinking shandy. I've never seen any kids drinking shandy.
no, you don't. We still sell shandy in the takeaways, but it's probably the least selling drink now. Bars
Is it
shandy.
really? That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
though.
It was fantastic.
You always get a cheeky one at the weekend, do you know what I mean? With the grandparents. Oh,
And you used to think you were class because you would have a shandy.
Oh, yeah, I think you're growing
Is
up
it-
on it. Yeah.
There's a few things we need to bring back here. We chatted outside about the beanie.
Beanie's eye.
Yeah.
Like, I just still can't to this day. Actually, Alice, sorry to bring you in.
Yeah.
Do you know what a beanie is?
The
I don't
hat.
put you under pressure.
Yeah,
Well, it
that's
is a
what I
hat. That's a
thought,
good.
yeah,
That's a good answer. It is a hat.
is a
But
hat.
do you know what else it is?
I don't.
In the fish and chip world,
No, good idea.
it's died out.
Sausage
Does.
meat.
We're gonna have to bring
right?
back the beanie.
You have to
Bring back the beanie. Sausage meat with baked beans encased in the middle.
Imagine
It looks like a
Scotch egg.
fish cake, doesn't it? It looks
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because sometimes you could do fish cake beanie roulette
Yeah.
because you
So
might
what
go
you're
home
gonna get
Not
and
the
you-
North Scotch egg.
and you'd
you
get-
know?
you-
Aye, it's a Geordie Scotch egg, isn't
It
it?
is.
I was
The
going to say,
beans
yeah,
are
it's a
the egg.
crazy take on a Scotch egg.
It is,
This
but
is crazy,
I'm
yeah.
talking 30, 40 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
it was a constant thing until, I don't know, maybe the last 15, 20
Maybe
years
we
it's
should bring
disappeared.
back the beanie.
Right?
But I'm with Alice. I'd never heard of it either, so...
But you'd be gutted if you went home and you'd ordered a beanie and you got a fish cake and it was under seasoned and that. There was too much potato.
Yeah.
You felt so, like, shorted. Right? Because right, okay.
I
So a
don't know
beanie
what
is a
happened
hat
with the
and a
beanies,
food
though.
item.
There we go.
Like, what happened? Like, how did they must
Have you had them on your menu?
a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
and they
not-
just went. Because
not-
why? Because no one's buying
There's
them or
never a
what?
sale for them.
Wasn't a
It's like
sale.
corned beef patties.
See, I love a
Corned
corned beef
So
patty
we
as
don't
well.
sell
Yeah.
corned beef patties anymore now because they just dropped off a cliff.
Really?
And it wasn't. We used to make them like all homemade, and
Yeah.
but you just ended up not selling any, and you were just wasting them.
I
throwing them
love the
out.
corned beef
I
patty.
mean, we weren't wasting.
But it's a
them.
bit
I eat
like-
like 10 a day. You
Oh,
know?
why,
But it's like a pasty, isn't it? So you don't get the ratio of corned beef right.
Yeah.
It just becomes potato
Potato
with a
patty.
little bit of,
Yeah,
yeah.
essence of corned beef.
Essence of corned beef.
It's like the culinary version.
It's like we're talking about corned like Greg's and I. We're talking about corned beef bake, so it's a pasty. Corned beef's always been a pasty. It's not
Yeah.
a bake. Keep it as a pasty.
Yeah, I
No.
agree.
Because we always ask, no one's asking for a bake, corned beef bake.
No.
You're asking for a corned beef pasty. Well, they know what you're talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's like monkey's blood. They know what you're talking
Aye,
about.
right.
I actually think, though, I might be making this up. I think there was a conscious decision about that because of when they had to stop calling it a Cornish pasty and it became a, what was it
Ah,
now?
but Cornish pasty, the
The-
word is Cornish. It's
Yeah.
a different thing. It's got
But I
meat
think
and veg in.
I think there's an
Yeah. So it's Cornish.
association, especially with Greg's when they went national,
Yeah.
that all pasties aren't equal.
Well, he's the pasty
Right,
police.
so
turning up.
outside-
Well, I mean, what's going on? The pasty, right? Pasty police. The
Pasty police.
But it is.
Do they still
Corn-
call them pasties down south, or?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like,
Was the
if
pasty
all those
company
things...
was the main thing, and it's called the pasty company because we're
Yeah,
in London.
the Cornish
they get
pasty
the stone
company.
with Cornish pasty, but it's the shape of the thing. A Cornish was always it was a different. It wasn't a flake. It was a different. It was like a
Short crust pastry.
short
innit?
crust pastry, right?
with a
Like a pie,
ridge.
and then it was
Yeah.
folded with a ridge, and
Yeah.
it was like a dome. You know,
Yeah.
Cubes of potatoes and peas and
Yes.
that in it.
cubes
Yeah.
of veg and potatoes with a
Quite
little bit of
spicy
meat
as
in.
well.
That was a Cornish
Yeah.
pasty. It was its on its own identified thing in a lineup,
Yeah.
in a pasty lineup.
And the pasty
right?
line with the one
You
with
know what
pasty,
a Cornish
please.
is, yeah.
Right.
But
So
you
I've got...
wouldn't know what a
hold on.
you wouldn't know what a cheese or corned beef was. Why? Because they're the same shape. You'd have to bite into it to
Yeah,
find out.
totally.
No.
You just give us a comedy
potluck.
sketch in my head. The pasty police going up and down like an identity parade.
Yeah, man.
Different
Corned
bakes
beef,
up against the wall.
That'd be a good sketch, yeah.
It would.
That'd be a good sketch.
Empty pockets.
I do like a pasty.
Loads of
Sausage
flakes
roll.
in that.
No, it's just a sausage roll because it's a pocket mate. It's your pocket food.
Oh, dear me. I
know.
told you to go off on a tangent.
It is, but
Yeah.
But that's it. Why? It's a pasty. I'm sorry, it is.
I wonder if there's some kind of. I wonder if someone's got a trademark for the word pasty.
No, that's what I'm getting at. Though. I think it is, and I think it's because in some regions
Imagine.
they wouldn't call a chicken bake a pasty. They might just they had to come up with a more generic,
The chicken pasty.
nationally
I know,
acceptable term.
But what we can't call something like fizzy,
Well, we can.
what fizzy flavored water can't be called pop.
Yeah,
Everyone
but
calls it
yeah, but
pop.
you can.
do
You're
you
not
know?
gonna
It's
get
like that.
manhandled at
Pasty
the
is a
rest shop.
thing. Yeah.
The one throw you out, you've asked for a can of pop. or
It's like,
something.
I'm going to go and buy a Hoover. I'm sorry to vacuum. Hoover's the brand, but we all called a Hoover.
Yeah.
Because everybody had a Hoover. Because it's only one thing, aye.
Henry.
It's a Henry, but it's a Henry Hoover, and it's a vacuum, is it? Do you know what I mean? You get into that, it's a Hoover, right? That's a pasty, that's a Hoover. Who cares? Do you know what
Let's
I
just
mean?
keep it
It's like,
simple.
Yeah. Hang on, did you use the word Hoover yesterday? Writing it down, here comes the Hoover police or the pasty police. We're all driving around in the same car. Just pulling over. Right.
Class.
Oh, how many times this week have you mentioned the word pasty?
We've got to take that forward.
I'm going to find it.
Let's log that as an
please.
idea. Right.
Honestly.
Someone will sketch that up and do a good job. of that.
Yeah. The pasty, please.
I mean, that's a t-shirt. No?
Yeah, it is.
So, where we're getting at, well, we're on a tangent here. Unless you got any questions about fish and chips, I'm going to throw it to the corner here.
Oh,
Do you like
yes,
fish and
actually,
chips?
I love fish and chips. When I was in Australia in January, and we went to Tasmania and got fish and chips, and it was snapper fish, which was quite nice. But then the mushy peas, that there must have been like garden peas that they mushed up themselves, and they
Yeah.
still had like the skin on, and I thought that was really, really nice. And I've never seen it anywhere here. So how do you do mushy peas?
Was the fish and chip shop called Muir's?
No, it was like a little roadside, like
Okay.
hotel inn restaurant
Tasmania.
thing. It was lush. But yeah, it was like skin on mushy peas,
Fish
and I
and
just thought that was really
yeah.
nice. It was
Yeah.
a good texture thing. So how do you usually do mushy peas?
All mushy peas is a labour of love.
Yeah.
Like it takes 2 days essentially.
Really?
But yeah, because you've got to steep all the peas for 12 hours
What
first.
type of peas?
Marifat.
Marifat. Yeah.
Marifat, yeah. Because I've never heard of a garden pea mushy, and I've never even tried it.
No.
Because
No.
emergency, yeah, two weeks ago, emergency, right? Didn't have mushy peas, but I had a tin of Marifat.
Mash
I
'em up.
blitzed it up. It worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
I had a bit of butter in.
Nice.
It's all right.
How
I
do
mean,
you
it's
break-
not
how do you
mushy
break them
pea.
down? When you steep them, do you steep them in anything? Break them down?
Yeah. Bicarb.
Bicarb. That's what my dad, my
I
granddad
use
used to do.
bicarb and all.
Yeah.
It's an old recipe.
Yeah.
And then steep them 12 to 16 hours, depending on how many peas you've got. Season them up. Boil them up. When they're just about cooked, turn them off, lid on, and just leave them for about an hour.
Yeah.
And then we'll season them up with some special stuff.
So you didn't give your secret away. Oh, he's got some secrets. man.
Yeah.
Look at this.
It's genuine, right? Every Sunday at my grandma and granddad's house, my granddad used to put the pea juice from soaking the Marifat peas into a cup and make a drink before I played football.
What?
Honestly.
Really?
Was that your special?
yeah.
Was that your special
Yes, son.
sauce?
Yes, yeah, pea water. Thanks, granddad. And I neck the water. Aye.
It's got a ring to it, that when we bottle it up.
Aye. Do you want your
Mr.
pea
Bag of
water?
batter and a pea water.
No. You can't shout that out the back of the house, can you? Son, have you got your pea water? You're like, oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yes, some of my food traditions are a bit weird. It's nice. Tastes nice.
The unique.
The
Can I say
unique flavour.
unique? I'm not going to go weird. I'm
the-
going to say unique. One-offs. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
hey, you could be onto a thing.
Yeah. Shots.
People are drinking kombucha and that. There's room
Pea
for pea
water.
juice.
I'm not a big fan of kombucha.
Say there's room for pea water.
Yeah. Yeah.
But peas are good though. Peas are...
1 of your 5 a day,
a
mushy
big
pea.
statement.
You put mushy peas into fish and chips, you've got 1 of your 5 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Healthy meal.
It was one of them things that I missed out on because you end up like having garden peas with the veg and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, hang on. Like, I haven't had marrowfat for ages, and marrowfat goes perfect with like corned beef pie and chips.
Yeah.
You got to have marrowfat. It just adds another kind of level. You're not going garden. Garden should be for a different, it's like Sunday dinner garden, that kind of thing. And then I'm like, hang on, I haven't had mushy for a while. So I was
Mushy peas are the
I
best.
said to
Oh,
Side
they are.
King, I'm back on mushy peas, but now I'm having a full tin.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh, yeah.
You can go through a full tin of mushy peas. You know the small ones.
It's unreal.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
Loads of
aeroplane
vinegar.
kind of size.
The thing is, you've got to put loads of
Airplane
vinegar on
peas.
your peas.
Yes.
Got to
Yeah, you
lash them with
I
vinegar.
just go for just a pea. Do you honestly
I
just
mean, I
heat them up? I think there's something in that, mate. Hang on, we need to just a little dips, like a Dorito dip or something.
Like Geordie hummus, mushy peas.
Geordie hummus.
You know what it is?
Geordie guacamole.
Aye. Well, it's like peas pudding because I'll just like peas pudding on a bit of ham. Bang, there you go.
Unreal.
It's
Mushy
perfect.
peas.
You don't need anything else.
Mushy peas with a bag of batter, but we'll make the batter like
Oh, mate, that would be
tortilla
great.
chips.
Yes.
Scooping
Tortilla.
it up.
Like compress them all into
Tortilla
little
butter,
chips.
aye.
Imagine that. That's like Geordie tapas.
Geordie
That is a
tapas.
great idea.
It is.
Geordie
and then,
tapas.
And then your ham and peas pudding, little
Unreal.
kind of like vol-au-vent
Geordie
style.
tapas.
Vol-au-vents.
You think I'm seeing your eyes going there, mate.
I've
You've
got
off,
my
are
brain
you? I like
thinking
this.
here like
Yeah.
Do it at the Fish and Chips Festival.
Fizz and
mini,
chips.
mini beanies,
Aye.
beanie canapes,
And then I want to line up condom.
You do realise when we do
know what I mean?
we try
Test
to
them
super
out.
soakers with vinegar in.
Super sauce of vinegar. Aye, everyone was wearing goggles though, so you didn't blind everybody. Because you can't
Hunger Games idea,
because
isn't it,
you can't run in the sea and wash your eyes out because it's just salt on top. Oh, salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar. Oh God, there we go.
Love it.
Oh,
fantastic. Oh,
didn't put them two together.
I like what you did there, like.
There's something in that though. Now we're just going to sit. We're not going to say anything else throughout the podcast. Now we're just thinking of ideas. Now we're going to
For
come up
Geordie
with the
Tapas.
festival. Aye. But it's a good idea. I think there's something in
that's
that
going to
though.
set the tone for our whole day now, time.
Because it's standards on its own. Everyone will go the hummus and then just dip a thing in. The hummus is the king. Why isn't the pea the king?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you add a little something in. It's always on the side.
Yeah.
Don't make it the side.
Elevate the
Make
pea.
Make it the king.
Make it the
elevate
main
the pea.
event.
Yeah.
Right, should be
Elevate
main
the
event.
pea.
Yeah. Elevate the pea, like the paste pudding, should be the main thing. You just add a little bit of ham on. Do you know what I mean? Because you need more of this.
Yeah.
I think there's something in that.
Would you go for peas pudding or mushy peas? Well, if you have to.
Oh, we're talking about
I love
options. Though.
both.
We're talking about
one.
option because you got to go ham paste pudding. You can't. You know what I mean?
different
That's
occasions,
different
Richard.
occasion. You know,
Totally.
that's it completely. But
Did I hot peas put? I asked you
we
this
talk
before.
about hot
haven't we?
paste pudding.
Hot peas pudding's lovely.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have it anytime. But
Aye. Hot, cold, anything.
Aye.
Just
Yeah.
stick it on a sarnie and I'll be like,
hey, tell us.
peas
That's it.
pudding for me.
Is
It's
that
got
a
to be in
shield?
the
I was going to ask you that.
Savaloy
I
dip.
was going to say, I knew this would come up. It
We're
has to
going
come
through
up.
the menu. We're not even asking the
I
questions.
know, but it has to come up.
Yeah, this is a special episode. This, mate. It's all very much related. This is the whole point in this menu is because we never get around to this, but this is our conversation.
done it.
We're doing
Yeah,
the menu
we've done
now
it.
live.
But that's
here.
peas pudding
Yeah.
for me. It's like the first. I don't think about ham and peas pudding.
Right.
I think about a Dixon Savoy
Yeah.
and peas pudding.
Peas pudding,
in a dip.
stuffing, no.
Yeah.
Stuffing.
But would you? I mean, when before the dip, right, the Savoy dip, would you go stuffing with peas pudding? But then you do it, and it's phenomenal.
Oh, it's unreal. It's
is.
like it's just layers of
It is. It's layers.
flavour of that shouldn't work, and it's just. I had one yesterday.
Did you say before
did
the
you? For me
Savoy?
lunch yesterday.
I had one
Oh,
yesterday.
mate, honestly,
but-
did you say before the Savoy?
Yeah,
Is
but
that like
no,
AD?
No,
B,
BS. What's it?
BTT before the dip.
Christ,
Yeah,
with
so
just
like
a Savoy.
BTT
BSD
Right.
before Savoy dip.
before Savoy dip.
BSD.
Right.
Are you doing?
See, I can't remember that.
PBSD or BSD? Post picture, right? No, hey.
Yeah, I've told the story about me mother with a Savoy dip, but we grew up on them.
Yeah, same.
Like, they were just standards.
Aye, I was always a pork dip. My brother was always a Savoy dip.
I
And,
love a
yeah.
pork dip as well. Do you know what my favourite thing was? At Dixon's used to do, and I don't think they do them anymore. A savoury dip.
Savoury dip.
Yeah.
Take all the
Yes.
offcuts of
Oh,
all the
the
different
Oh,
meats.
Oh,
Yes.
'cause
How
you
good
get,
was
like,
the
yeah,
savoury dip?
little salty bacon in
You'd
there.
bite
You
in
get a
one
bit of
time, and you
sausage
get a
in there.
ham and a bit of beef, and then the next one you'd get the crackling off the pork, and every mouthful was
Yeah.
different.
I mean, that's just.
Oh, that's
Are we designing a new restaurant?
you
here?
know that's called the king
Call
of
it
dips.
scraps.
No, it's called the king of
King of
dips.
dips.
It is. The king of dips, and then you've got your mushy pear. You've got anything you can dip. Anything that's associated with dips is in
Anything
the
you
shop.
dip.
Do you know what I mean?
It's got
Anything associated
legs,
with that. It has got legs. Tell us about
got
it.
legs.
It's got
It
the king
has.
of dips. But I forgot about that until you mentioned
savoury
it.
dips.
The
Yeah.
savoury dip was the best one, but not everywhere did it.
No.
I think it was like on off. You might get a savoury dip on a Saturday.
I don't know whether any of them do them now.
I don't think they do. But you're right, though.
Oh, it's the
Saturdays,
it's the
leftover
Russian
stuff.
roulette of dips, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're going to get.
It was
But,
so
but
good.
when it hits, it hits.
And you would,
Aye.
yeah. Oh, if you got a bit of like a big chunk of pork, you'd think you'd hit the lottery, and it's like
It is,
oh.
aye. It just pulls apart.
Today's
and then
gonna be a
that
good
crunch and
day.
that oh.
It just sets the tone for the whole day, doesn't it?
Set that tone for the whole team. You struck gold.
If it was all
Before
ham,
lunch.
you'd just be like,
Aye.
Yeah,
you joking?
come on,
Aye.
take
Aye.
it back.
it's not going to happen today. Like it's just ham.
But it's all the end bits. They're the best bits.
Yeah.
The end bit of the meat and all that's the same as the end bit of the fish.
Yeah, yeah.
I would always save the end bit of the
Yeah,
fish.
the
you know?
crispy bit at the
Yeah,
end.
crispy bit at the
Unreal.
end because it's mainly butter and it's a
Unreal.
crispy one. It's all yeah.
I would love to know how many people still see the Savoy dip as a proper staple. I had this conversation
A lot.
with Mike and Chris at Dixon's, actually.
Yeah.
Because I know that they're a Newcastle family, aren't they, originally? And I was like,
maybe.
I always think of the Savoy
Does this
dip as being a South Tyneside thing. It's
Really?
more kind of, yeah, I do.
does this change over the water like?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I think
Because I just, everywhere I went,
I just thought northeast.
Right.
That was it.
no, I think people in South Tyneside eat them. I mean, I remember as a kid, there wasn't a kid in a buggy that didn't have
Savoy.
a peeled Savoy skin off
Aye.
in a buggy getting pushed around. Jared Dummy.
Jared
recall
Dummy's,
it.
aye. Jared
Back then,
Dummy's.
that's a sausage roll, isn't it? Aye, no.
Everything on.
Yeah, but so what I like,
Do you add stuff?
no, but I get double dip, so they don't just dip the top side
Is
of
that
the
like
bun,
under the counter? You
they
can
dip
ask-
the bottom side of the bun as well, so you get that gravy on both sides.
Got to do a special
So it doesn't
handshake
get
with this or
too
something.
dry.
Yeah. Aye.
So double dipped, stuffing, peas pudding, Savoys, no mustard.
No mustard.
Nah,
We've just got this vision of like this
Can I have-
slow motion encounter where you're at the counter and they're like, "Do you want a dip, pet?" And you're like, "Double dip." Like, they ring like an alarm or something like that. The shop. This guy wants it double dipped.
You check it. You check who's around, and then you hear from the bottom of the queue.
Pressing a buzzer, pressing a buzzer under the counter.
sirens off.
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
do you have to ask for that?
Yeah, because I'll only dip the top bit of the bun if not.
Yeah.
Can't I just give it
Oh,
away?
I've got to
man,
go
please?
for that.
You
I
can't
know,
just
I'm
give it
going
away.
for it, man. You give us a lot of tips today.
Just give away your dip.
But you,
So
you don't
good.
go for mustard.
No,
Right, there's that Colmans mustard. over there.
Colmans mustard.
Colmans mustard. I never knew there was mustard on the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just like stick it in your face and
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan. I think I'm not a big mustard guy actually.
I'd have it on a burger, but I
Yeah,
thinly
American
layer
mustard
it.
though.
But it's it's like
Yeah.
French's mustard, so I do that. It's the Dijon mustard.
I like
put
Dijon.
on.
I like
Yeah, I like
whole grain
Dijon.
mustard.
Well, it's got. It depends on what it is. Do you know what I mean? But on a burger, but it's like it's again we're talking because I think I'm talking to a guy who knows about layers here because you're talking about layers of flavour.
That's been the topic of the
Layers of
conversation,
flavour.
isn't it?
Because I'm hearing what you're saying.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going layers all the time.
Yeah.
And me with the burger.
How did you
which
cope with
I've-
that, by
I've
the
told
way?
you about.
With the
What's
triple
that?
layers, the tartar sauce and that.
No, layers. I understand it. I freaked us out when I thought he was sitting on his knee, and I'm like, how the hell is who's holding this pot and who's doing that? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you got one on the end of your foot, and you kind of like.
It's a controversy
shoulder
goes
like
back to
this,
the first
yeah.
podcast we did. We
Aye.
talked about me having two different types of ketchup.
No, but you're like going like all over, but you're like that,
Yeah.
then I can bring it to. or I can go to it.
Yeah, it's like do you not think it's a bit similar to the
that.
savoury dip conversation though?
Yeah.
Each mouthful you're getting that new flavour, and it just keeps it exciting.
It is combinations. Because right, so homemade burger, right, stay with us, Richard. So this will be quick. Brioche bun, toasted. We've got farm shop caramelised beef burgers, the best, right, from near mine. And then I put the thin layer of mustard, I spoon it and then smother it so it's just laid up there. Then I do ketchup, but you leave it. You're not smearing that in, right? On the bottom, I put red onion on, tomatoes, gherkins.
Yes.
Sliced small cube gherkins.
Like a burger sauce.
Yeah. And then I'm putting coleslaw on it. Just a spoonful. Make sure it all holds together. Then your burger, but smoked cheese, Northumberland smoked cheese, under the grill, in the oven, just to finish it off so it melts. And then that goes on the burger, bang, foil wrapped. Best burger I've ever had, and it's the one where you make on like a Saturday night now and again.
I can get with that.
The layers and the flavour throughout, it's a perfect combo. Because I didn't have it with a coleslaw, then I introduced that coleslaw about a year ago. Never turned back.
So that was the only thing that could give alarm bells for me was the coleslaw.
I could do it.
I'm not totally against it though, because mayonnaise goes on a burger. You've got cabbage.
Yeah.
It holds the thing is it holds the red onion in it. It's very similar texture.
I get it.
So give it a try. Not too much, not too much. But that's the thing. Not too much, but just enough.
The only thing that troubles me, I like with the coleslaw. I can't do brioche buns like
brioche.
I can't.
You're not a brioche man.
Nah,
I don't like a brioche.
I can't. And actually,
because it
holds
holds
together.
Me when
it's not an option.
It holds together a bit more.
I know, but
you don't want your finger going through the top.
I don't like the sweet. I don't like the sweet.
Right. I know, but when you're eating this, you don't really say that. You know, it doesn't really come through.
It's problematic for me when I'm in a restaurant if I get a burger and the only option is it comes in a brioche bun. Then I won't get it.
I like it, but I couldn't get the toasted ones because I've seen people do it. I'm like, the toasted thing, they're on the grill, then they put water in, then they steam it a bit, and then I'm like, I'm not doing that. But we're just banging it in the oven for 2 minutes.
Nice.
I'll put
So
the timer
you say
on
brioche holds together better?
It does hold better together because I've tried other.
If you toast it as well.
Do you know? Actually, sorry.
Toasted as well, add a little bit. It's just that little texture crunch in between.
Well, the toasting as well, it absorbs more
does.
juice then, and then you get that flavour.
It's that. Adding the foil, so you get no drip and it doesn't come apart in the last 2 bites. Because the last 2 bites, that's where everything is.
That's the best bit.
That's the best bit, and you don't want to, because it used to just fall apart. But wrapping it in foil, same again. You go into Five Guys, you watch them what they do. I'm like, I'm going to do that at home. Bit of foil saves the day.
Can I say something? Because it's been week of revelations, and I've got to bring this up because it links. English muffins.
Yeah.
Right? So it was my partner's birthday last weekend. I sent you a picture.
No, you did.
Hollandaise sauce and that. I make hollandaise and all that business, right? I didn't realise how to separate a muffin. And it blew me mind. Do you know how to? Do you know what normal muffins that you buy from the shop?
Yeah.
English muffins, dusted ones.
Yeah.
Do you just cut them?
Yeah.
If you want to have one?
Yeah.
You're not meant to. It even says on the pack.
What?
Honestly. Right. So, if you cut them with a knife and they go flat, just like a slice of bread, you butter them, right? The whole point of the muffin is that they're aerated in the middle, right? So you're meant to separate them either by hand or with a fork.
You're joking?
And it says on the pack, separate with fork. Because when you open them with your hands, you know they've got like a natural crevice around the middle. But if you do that, they come apart and it leaves all these spiky air bubbles up. So when they toast, you get this really rough surface. When you butter it, it holds the butter. It doesn't run off.
So you're kind of cracking it like an Oreo.
Yes.
Aye.
Yeah, like that.
Aye.
I did a Rubik's Cube.
Little twist, little break
I've
twist.
done it wrong my whole life.
Wait, it blew me mind. It changed. It changed. It changed the whole breakfast. I was like, hold on a minute.
I'm going
it
to
soaks
make a
up.
detour to a shop after this and buy a pack of muffins.
Honestly, mate, it soaks. It soaks up the butter properly.
Aye.
It doesn't run off.
Yeah.
And the whole texture is different
Because it's not
That's my
because of the
blow,
air bubbles and the spikes. It's not a clean surface.
That's it. It's not a clean cut. It's like a scone. Do you know what I mean?
I
When you
spent an
break
hour on
scone
YouTube
apart.
afterwards going, what?
I'm not going to get over this for the rest of the podcast now.
I carried it all.
That's nuts,
I've kept
that.
it for this conversation because I knew it would come up.
Yeah.
I can't get over that. I can't believe it.
You're thinking about it now. You think like
Stop
all the
taking
time.
notes, Alice, right?
How,
That's
how
my,
does it work?
I'm just thinking in my head.
Aye. Like how you would do it. Is it going to work?
Yeah.
You having doubts. You haven't doubts it's going
I'm
to work.
not saying
when
I'm
you get
doubting
back.
you, Chris.
No,
I'm
it's
just saying
because
that
you know
You've got to try it now, though.
I
haven't
feel
you?
like an idiot because I've cut them for 32 years.
Well, do you know what it is, though, mate? Well, that's what I felt, though. But it's because you're getting blinded
Can't
by...
change it now.
You can't.
Imagine that.
But you're getting blinded by perfectionism,
Aye.
right? So you think,
Yeah.
if you cut one, you want it to be even, don't you?
It's like
You want to
Michael.
cut it even down the middle.
like Michael
That's the
Jordan.
point. It's not meant to be.
It's like Michael Jordan wearing pyjamas.
Aye.
He's done it for 32. Yeah, can I go back?
Can I go back now?
Got a picture of you at home tonight going, Jesus Christ.
I want a picture of that. Saying,
got
oh,
my
my
photo.
I can't
Temple,
believe
I need
this.
a hand.
Completely different.
I need to look at this.
But you have to bear with it. Like, don't expect it to come apart evenly. It comes apart.
You've got to.
Okay.
The jiggity.
So you're nervous as you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you get the sixth one, you're like, oh, it's easy, this.
Ah,
It's like
right,
sugar and
okay.
oyster.
Ah,
It's
sugar
just
and
like that.
oyster. Aye. Just cracking
Yeah.
the Oreos. Bang, bang, bang.
It's like a new prep. It's like a new prep skill.
I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
still.
you're on separating the muffins today.
I'm gonna go back to the kitchen at the temple after this, and I'm gonna see how many of them.
But it's like, you know, when you open an oyster and you're looking for that little releasing
totally.
it.
It's like a muffin.
Muffin, like remember,
We're just pulling an early mate now.
release the muffin.
Early staff meeting.
Aye. I want to ask you a question.
Got some important
Yeah.
kind of information.
Really important.
Really serious.
I'm
Shut the
sorry
door.
I've pulled you all in from all of
Everybody
your
in.
houses. But,
Shut us down.
Shut the door, guys. Sit down. What do you see in the middle of the table?
Open that
See
muffin
a
for
muffin,
us.
Richard? Do you see an ordinary muffin? Or do you see a muffin the wrong way? We've been doing it the wrong way for 35 years. Right.
Exhibit A and Exhibit
Everyone
B.
take a muffin.
Aye, you pull them off. You go, right, which one's the one?
I've put it. Yeah.
Which one's the one?
Right. Before you, I've put a knife, I've put a fork, and then I've put a question mark. I want you to choose which way you're going to open this muffin.
It's Hunger Games.
Everyone will get it wrong.
It's the Hunger Games.
And your job depends upon it.
There's a line. There's a wall of P45s awaiting the muffin.
You could do that on bank holiday, actually. Yeah, and your queue, just give everybody a muffin while they're waiting.
Whoever,
Just show me how you're going to
I'll
open this
stand there like
muffin.
in a mute
whoever
room.
opens it correctly gets free fish and chips. Never give one away. Nobody's going to get that. I wonder how many people know that.
Some people in muffin confusion just looking at it. I just don't know what to do with it.
Terry's chocolate orange.
I don't know what to do with it. You bounce off the floor and that.
Yeah. You'll have to film that 100 ways to open a muffin.
And that's on the packet.
Yeah.
And
Well, on certain
nobody's
brands.
okay.
Certain brands.
Yeah.
How often do you
But-
read the packet on things?
Well, you
though?
don't.
Never read the packet, never read instructions.
I
either.
don't-
You read instructions.
I
No.
don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. I cook muffins all the time. And there was something in my mind last Sunday that I was like, I'm a bit unhappy with that flat surface with the butterfly knot.
You doubted it. You sure doubted it.
Am I doing this properly? Because they're meant to look a bit more like scratchy, as I would say, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, straight away. YouTube. Look at it. It's all over the place.
Yeah. Say, if you're on TikTok and you were...
Add that to the list.
Yeah. No.
With
That's
my
mad.
Etch-a-sketch brain.
Be full
That's
page,
insane.
honestly.
Yeah.
I'm just expecting all the chefs of the region and all the people I know just chucking stuff at this going, he's talking crap.
Just gonna
It's not
break
true.
I reckon they're
Well, it
all
is true.
liars if they
Try
said they knew that was right.
Yeah. Well, I already knew
I
that.
knew
Yeah.
that.
Of course you did.
Calling yourself a food person.
Prove it. Prove it.
Oh, might just run out and see if there's any muffins next door.
Bloody hell. That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm
No, we're all thinking
mind blown.
about
I'm
muffins
actually
now.
like, I
Yeah.
can't believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've lived a lie.
But what else? Yeah. But what else is
All those
wrong?
failed
Yeah.
breakfasts.
Yeah.
It's like, what else is wrong? I'm out today snapping the chocolate roll out. Do you know what I mean? You kind of...
It adds to the list. Monopoly Man, Colmans, all that business.
Yeah,
We're-
this is a-
yeah,
this
we're
is
demystifying the world today.
This is the Mandela podcast. All of the things that you've lived a lie with all of your life.
They might start labeling us like Joe Rogan, like conspiracy theorists. And
You can be the
Making stuff
you
up
can
on
be
that
the Geordie
podcast.
Joe Rogan, Chris.
Geordie Joe. He's making stuff up about muffins and that. You've got to stop him. Stop him in his tracks before he breaks everything.
What the muffin police call the pasta police. Shit, we've got a problem with our hands, boys. You know what I mean? All come together. Powers in the world.
So Italy, when we're doing that
doing that,
recon that we've got to do for that festival.
Fish and chip festival.
Aye.
August.
Is it August? Is it?
Aye.
Ah, it's funny that. It's
A week in
my birthday.
August. Oh, right, champion. It can be mine as well if
Get
we
the
need it to be.
I'll have 2 birthdays. You know what I mean? It's the birth of a new recipe or something.
Yeah.
The pea and the butter. Yeah.
It's market research,
Butter
isn't it?
crisps
Yeah.
or something.
Market
do you know what I
research,
mean?
yeah. Business trip.
I think so. Yeah, of course.
That is a good out and about, like,
It
isn't it?
is. No, it's perfect. I love it.
We've been waiting on like a web series that we've not released yet.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about it, but we haven't put anything out yet because we don't know how to put it out.
Right.
We're like, should we subscribe? But do we put it out? Do we not?
We
Well,
filmed one. It's like a
half-hour
20.
TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a half-hour TV.
All
show.
right, okay.
It's we're liking it to a cross between Gone Fishing and Anthony Bourdain. I mean, it's probably no like both of them, but
That's right.
have an idea.
That's right. It sounds
Yeah.
great when you're pitching it.
But
yeah.
you go, oh yeah, what's it like? Because everyone wants to know what it's like. And so you say those 2 words, just watch it, man. Then they watch it and they forget about what you just said before you say
Yeah.
it. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them.
Sounds cool.
No, it is. It's good. Cooking in the Woods of John Curley. But aye, it was good. Fun, wasn't it?
That'd be a cracking trip, that, man.
Aye. No,
Plant the seed now, Richard.
that's it. I was
Have
seriously,
you
man.
planted the seed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now they
And we'll come back. We've got an idea for a
combinations of the
festival we can
t-shirt,
do
the
in the
merch.
northeast.
Yeah, bring
Yeah.
it back. Bring the idea. Bring,
Oh.
go, test
Or we could
it,
do a
bring it
twinning
back.
thing.
Bring it to the UK, do summer and winter. And
Yeah.
There's an event in this thing.
Of course there is.
yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Completely.
Totally.
Celebration of fish and chips. Who doesn't want to celebrate fish and chips?
Everything's celebration, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say this PI day going. Good off the shelf.
Got a
just
shop
pop
list
your
for
top
tonight
in
now.
there, Yeah.
Muffins.
Peas.
Mushy
You know,
peas.
your little snack, you know, when you go in the
Gillian
shop.
seashells.
Gillian seashells.
Little butter crisps on the inside on the lid, and then you can just dip it into your little mushy pea kind of pot. Just off the shelf snacks. Say, man.
It's got legs, I'm telling you.
Say, I like it. Or the lids,
Yeah.
The lid's
Butter.
the batter. And you just use the lid to scoop.
Yeah.
Totally
just rested on. Do you know what I
no
mean?
waste.
Like,
No
like in a
waste.
Michelin star tile in a triangle.
Yeah,
and that, do you know what I mean?
Just do it in the shape of a fish or something.
Aye.
Crack it like that.
Shape
So,
of a fish, huh? So, look at this, man. Yeah.
so I was going to ask you. Sorry, on a serious note.
Back in the room. Well, we did start off talking about Ian Brown and acid trips, and I think we've gone on
We
gone
have.
on a fish and chip. Fish and chip trip. Fish and chip trip. It's been all right, hasn't it?
Fish and
It
chip
has
trip.
been fantastic.
Aye.
How's Phoenix going?
Phoenix is great.
Yeah.
It's flying. It's well, I didn't realise this until I did a bit of digging, and we're the only dedicated fish and chip restaurant in the whole of Newcastle city centre.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's flying.
That will do.
But I love it up there. It's great, and it's opened up a new market. I mean, we're in Phoenix. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I mean, Phoenix for me is like the pinnacle of stores in Newcastle. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
family business, the mint.
Yeah. It's a good
Honestly.
fit in it between the two
Yeah,
families.
100%.
Works.
2 5-generation northeast businesses. You know, it's been fun, but it's I wasn't sure what to expect really going from 2 like really coastal restaurants and takeaways to going into the city centre. So I was like, oh, it's going to be a bit of a
Not the gamble, do you think?
well, more of a culture shock, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Different type of customer. Are you getting customers that would ordinarily eat with you on the coast? Come up, have a look.
we did to start
Yeah.
because everybody wanted to. What we're seeing is more customers coming in from the likes of like Hexham and Northumberland that wouldn't usually, like, it's much harder for them to get to Shields when actually they're in Phoenix every other week doing a bit of shopping. And they want to come to us, but it's just that bit of a trek for them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of opened up this whole new market further afield as well. So
Spinning of bottles on the tables, I know.
What, like,
Staff
in
with,
sort
like,
of like perfume
the staff have got them in holsters, man.
It's a scent.
But no, it's really good.
Yeah. No,
Really happy
fantastic.
with it, and yeah, they've been unreal to work with as well.
Yeah.
Really good,
Excellent.
really good. We've built a good relationship.
How long's it
Long
lasting?
As long as we want.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, we'll have to get ourselves in.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's not being branded as a pop up because Phoenix and us want it to be there for the long run.
Yeah.
Because I mean, why not? The city centre deserves to have that
It does.
fish and chips in it. There's tourists come in that want to try what we do in the UK, and especially the North East, which is really good fish
and
and
it
chips.
feels different, doesn't it, to what they've done with Yem or what they've done with Greg's?
Totally.
Because they were very much pop-ups.
Yeah, and it's a trend thing, isn't it?
It is a trend thing, but I get the fact that there's a sort of symbiotic relationship between the types of businesses you are.
Yeah.
In terms of Colmans and Fenix, there's a really nice fit for that to be something permanent, longer term.
And fish and chips
exciting.
just doesn't go out of fashion, does it?
No.
It's one of those things that has just stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Everybody, whether you're old, whether you're young, everybody loves fish and chips.
Yeah.
Saying that, we were up at Ardgeffron 2 days ago.
Oh, yes.
And they didn't have fish and chips on the menu. And her husband said,
Where's the fish
"Where's
and
the
chips?
fish and chips?" So they've got it on the menu now. And what we saw coming out of the kitchen was plates of fish and chips. So people want fish and chips.
Oh, people do.
Yeah.
Man, so
People love it.
it should be on a menu.
It should be on every menu. It should
be on
just
every
only
menu.
be fish and chips. And pea
Are we
dip.
good at it as a region, do you think?
Yeah.
Fish and
Think
chips.
away from Colmans, do you think in general, would we be well known for it as a region?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say probably... Although, yeah. I mean, I think North East is synonymous with fish and chips.
Yes.
I think
agree.
it's that kind of working class meal that people grew up on. I mean, it was the only thing that wasn't rationed during World War II.
Yes.
Fish and chips was the code word for the soldiers. One would shout fish and one would shout chips during the World War in order to know if they were there.
Do you think that's a really interesting point? That actually I didn't know that the rationing.
Yeah, that's sort of fish and chips
Do you
was
think
the
that's
only...
where maybe ties people back the cost sometimes to a certain degree, because it's almost like a protected dish to people in their heads.
It is.
No, national treasure.
So if they see it becoming, if they think it's inaccessible or think it's too expensive, they always hark back to what they used to see it as. I wonder if there's a connection between those two things.
Yeah, I see where you come from. I think what's important for us is just to kind of hone in on the quality.
Yes.
And say, like, yes, it is expensive, but everything's expensive now. Like, but what you're getting is an unbelievable filling meal. I mean, you eat fish and chips for lunch, you're done for the rest of the day. It's a nutritious filling meal, and it's banging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't beat it. I can't have fish and chips every week, and honestly, every time I eat it, it's like it's the first time I've eaten it because I love it that
I know.
much.
I'm the same.
I love it that much.
It's mad though that you're working it and you're still eating it as well, because it's
I love
usually
it.
some chefs are eating like beans on toast at night because they making it too much during the day. But
Yeah,
you're still loving it.
every Monday.
Aye.
Every Monday.
Yeah, it's just like it starts my week off.
And a Good Friday.
Nah,
Do you not do it? No.
nah. I
Every
haven't got
Monday.
time.
As
I
a kid-
haven't got time. I've been beans on toast before.
Yeah. So Fridays are for the customers. Mondays for personal moments.
Yeah, I can sit slightly quieter. I can enjoy it. I can sit at my desk with my plate of fish and chips and enjoy it. I'm not getting hassled, and I don't have to jump out to help, and just have that 10-15 minutes of peace
Aye.
and enjoy my fish and chips.
Start the week as you mean to go on.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Fish and chips. You know what I mean? Fantastic.
totally.
Should we jump into
We've
some of
actually
these?
jumped
'Cause
quite a lot. We've gone through quite a lot.
We've gone through pretty much a lot. So, I mean, curry versus gravy. Look, we know it's curry
Yeah,
because it's a fish and chip based question.
100%.
I mean, we can't ask any more about fish and chips.
No,
now,
can't.
covered it.
Savoy done that.
Savoy, we've done that. Hell, we're knocking these out, aren't we?
I am keen to know what your last meal is.
Top 3, we've done chocolate bars. What's your...
Given what you
right,
just said,
I mean,
what is your
right.
last meal?
What's your last meal? I think we know what it is.
Do we? You never know.
My last meal, fish and chips.
Is it exactly the same way you described it earlier?
If I could be finical, I would have a side of lasagna,
All right, okay. So
just because I love lasagna as well. Oh, but like if
Would
it was
you-
just one, I would have fish and chips.
would you side the lasagna? Would you have it to start? Because it's all Italy,
would
right?
side it.
It's pasta.
Yeah.
Pasta's a starter,
Push the odd
isn't it?
chip into it.
Yeah, it's
Some
like a
dishes.
first course. It's
Like
known as,
first
yeah.
course, I wouldn't say a starter, it's a first course.
Yeah.
First course lasagna, right? And then you go
Yeah.
on fish and chips.
I'd have fish and chips, tartar, curry, mushy peas, loads of salt and vinegar, probably a ginger beer or a dandelion and burdock. And if it was my last meal, I'd have to chuck that stotty in there. But like with like an inch of butter on it.
Yes. Salted.
Solid butter.
Hot chips.
I-
Melt sitting at the stotty.
Yeah.
Are you having your pot of tea?
What do I get dessert?
I'm gonna offer you a dessert today. I haven't done that.
No, we're going to go 2 miles, but yeah.
Let's do it.
Because if I get
I'm
dessert,
intrigued.
Are you getting dessert in? Are you not going cornetto, are you?
That's your last meal, man.
What
You
you
gotta
going for?
push it in.
All right, okay, right.
dessert,
Shoehorn it in, man.
I'll have a pot
Push
of
it
tea
in.
and a tray of Gillian seashells.
Can you see? Oh, are you eating them out the box, or have you got to present these?
No, straight out of the box.
Straight out of the box.
Straight out the
Like,
box. And then
slide
I'll
them
take
over
a
like
sip
on
of
a-
tea with everyone just to melt it slightly.
That's what you keep the tea
Yes.
for. I'm there with the
Yeah.
tea and the chocolates. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
a perfect marriage, that thing.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Out of curiosity, have you tried tea with fish and chips?
I've tried a few things with fish and chips. Tea, fish and chips, bacon sarnie. I can almost get on board with the bacon sarnie.
And a cup of tea.
Just has to be tea. Can't do coffee. It's too strong. I can just, but for me, it's the biscuit thing. A cup of tea should be with a scone, with a biscuit, with a
It's a family
treat, with
thing
a
for us.
drop,
My
do you know
mum
what I
would
mean?
always say, cut through the greasiness. Yeah. That's hot cup of tea.
Not as much as
Yeah.
the fizzy.
I feel like a bacon sandwich, you'd have a mug of tea.
Mug,
And fish and chips, you'd
yeah.
have a pot.
Yes.
And it tastes different.
Oh, it definitely tastes different. Because even when you pour in the thing, it's the air,
Yeah.
you're getting the air in the tea, and then
Little
you kind of
bubbles on
raise
the
it and
top.
stuff like that. Have you ever done that before? Just raise it right on. Do you know what I mean? Get the bubbles in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I go like 2 tea bags straight in. Do you know what I mean? Stewing,
Okay.
bang like that.
Yeah.
Because I want that.
Yeah.
I want that mahogany looking
Yeah.
colour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to be that.
Sugar.
Builders, rich. Nah, not anymore. I had to wean myself off.
I did. I used to be 2 sweeteners. Mm-hmm. And I went to 1,
Sweeteners,
now
yeah.
just a cup of tea.
Back in the day it was 3. Then I was like, no, I might none. And then just a drop of milk.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like the Bob Mortimer thing. He only has 12 sugars
12
because
sugars.
13 was too sweet.
I know. That's absolutely mental, isn't it? Aye. So I think,
Yeah, we know where we're heading.
Aye. Well, let's finish. What's your Greg's order?
Oh, there's only one thing for me.
Is there?
Oh, yeah. That's all I ever have. It's a sausage, bean and cheese melt, but it's got to be warm.
Warm.
I have 2 for a start.
Yeah.
But it has to be warm. Not hot. Warm.
Warm.
Yeah, because
If it's
you
hot,
wouldn't believe
it's too
how many
nuclear.
blisters I've had off
Oh.
an airport pasty when you're coming
Airport
through and
pasty.
you're late for
Stop
the
by a
checkout
pasty,
and you're
please.
getting a pasty and you take it back and you go, oh God.
Yeah.
Like, so it's got to be warm. But I feel like I just love them. I feel like it's like that pasty is like the evolution of beans on toast.
Do you think?
It's like if
Yeah, it
that
is.
pasty was a Pokemon, it'd be like the Charizard of beans on toast. So you got beans on toast that's like Charmander, and then Charmeleon would be like beans and sausages on toast, you know, in the tins,
Yeah. Yeah.
but with a bit of cheese on.
Yeah.
And then the next step of that evolution, like Charizard, is like all in a pasty.
Yes.
So you can't get any better than that.
Nah,
What could you improve on? Do you think you could
couldn't.
improve?
nah, because you would just go too far.
Too much. Too
Yeah.
much of a good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So when you have 2, do you have them consecutively?
Yeah.
One straight after the other.
Oh yeah, I could do 3 to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't
You're
because
capping yourself at 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a control thing.
And it's
yeah?
probably a starter for some. It's probably having it on the way for lunch or something like
That's
that
what,
as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's what the sausage roll is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
100%. It's a
If you
filler.
travel food,
Yeah.
yeah,
it's not- it's not a
you're eating
meal.
that before you get to the place where you're going to eat the rest.
100%.
Aye. Yeah.
I have had a lot of sausage and bean melt since I've been on Phoenix as well, because there's a Greg's just
on the street.
corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the first thing we did when we opened Phoenix is on the morning, I sent one of the guys down. I went, "We'll get a couple dozen sausage rolls to fuel us through the day." We just had to carry a bag of sausage rolls.
Are you having anything to drink with that?
Maybe, but not usually.
No, you can just knock them down without anything to drink.
Oh, aye. Especially because you got a lot of like moisture in the sausage and bean melt as well.
Okay.
Oh, I love them but you know there's a way to eat them as well. You know,
Oh.
because they put the sausage. They never used to do this, but it's like a long sausage either side of the pasty now,
Right.
and then the
Like
beans are in the
goalposts.
middle.
Oh,
So if you bite on the sides, you always get a bit of sausage in it. But once you get into the middle, it's just the beans and the and the cheese.
Also, you know where the sausage is.
Yeah. So what I do is you'll take on the top
You know where the
corners.
sausage
You
is.
take on the top corners.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you'll bite the top of it, and then you'll go at either end
All right.
and make your way down,
so
and then you get a bit of sausage in every bite.
You can down like a game of Tetris.
Exactly like
I
that.
feel like it needs to be a challenge for people. Isn't it? Like,
Honest to God,
how do
there's
you
a
eat
knack
yours?
to it.
There's a
Is
knack,
it like the
yeah.
Cadbury Scream Egg? How do you eat
Yeah.
your sausage and bean?
Yeah,
There's
but you've
always a
got
way of
to
eating
go at
something.
it.
Yeah, there is a way of eating something.
There is.
When
But
you go down on the edges, it's like eating a Magnum.
yeah,
How do you eat a Magnum?
So
Right,
I'll-
you start, you go down the sides, right,
down the other side.
and then you crack, and then it might go the middle.
Oh, you
you
can't
might
crack it
lose
too
a
much.
bit. You
Yeah.
can't crack it too much, just enough so you don't lose a bit.
Yeah.
because it's like a shard, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you do that, and obviously you go on full ice cream when there's no chocolate on the rest, and then right at the bottom you're pulling that off the
That's
stick. That last bit of
exactly
chocolate.
how I eat a Magnum. I couldn't have explained it better myself.
Thank you.
Oh.
I like a white Magnum though. The white chocolate one's
Yes.
my favourite.
Yeah.
Aye, you got a sweet tooth, have you?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
aye. That's pure sugar, that man.
Fish and chips and sweet, really.
Nice. Right.
Oh,
Then.
thanks for that, man.
So we're now
Awesome.
not having tea tonight.
Pie time shortly.
Pie time, right? I didn't even get into pies, but we'll see that for the next one, Richard. This is fantastic. Thank you
Yes,
very much.
loved it.
Pleasure.
Loved
It's
it.
been great.
Nice one.
Cheers, gents.
Thank you. Perfect.